Hello everybody, my name is Mr. Alberto23 and today I'm going to be explaining how to do the Wind Waker HD any % route without the manual super swim, which is considered a really hard trick at the beginning of the run. So this is the no manual super swim category that you might see on the leaderboard. This is different from my previous tutorial, which will be linked in the chat, that was without the pause storage glitch that was found recently. So this is going to incorporate that glitch, which would make it more of an advanced tutorial, because the trick is a little bit more difficult, and so it is less beginner friendly, but this is the fastest route for the category. So to get into it, what do you need? You need a Wii U, you need a gamepad, and you need a Pro controller. So one thing I want to note about Pro controllers, make sure it has this label right here, because if you don't have this label, it is not first party. If it's not first party, you have issues with the sticks. Almost all third-party controllers have issues with the sticks where they're just not good. So it is more expensive to get a first-party controller. You can get like a refurbished one off of Amazon for $60, is what I just found one for. But yeah, don't get the ones that don't have the label, or else they will be low quality and you will be disappointed. So to begin, let's go ahead and start. So I'm in Italian, as you can see. This is the Italian language. You can go into the Wii U language settings and change the language to Spanish or Italian, depending on your region. So I'm in North America. I had to get the PAL version of the game, which is only sold in Europe, to play on the Italian version. And I had to homebrew my Wii U to region free it, because the language is only accessible on European consoles. So I had to change a one-line code to change it from North America to European in order to play this. So it's very annoying. Now let's say you don't have access to Italian, you can just play on Spanish. Change it to Spanish, and Spanish is only a few seconds slower, so it's not really a big deal. So Spanish or Italian is the way to go. Don't go with English. Do not. So we're gonna start off the game. And one thing I want to note about the file name is that the file name can be anything. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't change how much time it takes to display your character, the character name, because it all displays in one frame. All the characters display in one frame. So any amount of characters up to 8 is fine. I also want to mention, if you start off with a blank save file, and you just start off the game in a blank save file like this, like one of these, like 2 or 3, the first save you have will be slow. Let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna use the hacker to restart the game, to reload the map. And then let me show you the save warp. So I'll save the game. So you may notice that that was kind of slow. And let me show you what it would be if I deleted a save file. So this is what I recommend. Have a file on file 1, delete it. You can also copy over a file if you need it. And then start the game in its place. And now if I start off, oops, H. And then let's save the game and see what happens. And you saw that was a much faster save, so that's why I recommend doing that. So for your first, for the very first time you start off the game, before you start up the save file, you can make that first save faster by having a save file, delete it, and then start in its place. All right, so let's begin. So if you don't have a save file on file 1, you can copy file 2. We're gonna do that, copy it over. And then I'm going to then delete it. Alrighty, and then we're going to make a file and start. Oops. Alrighty, so want to mash plus to skip the intro cutscene, the very beginning. And then we're going to be watching this cutscene, so at the end of it we'll gain control, and then we'll start the run. So I want to mention in the speedrun, the glitch that I'm going to be using, known as pause storage. I just want to mention real quick that this tutorial will require you to have a Pro controller to perform the glitch. This is a Wii U Pro Controller. And so if you don't have a Wii U Pro Controller, you can't perform the pause storage glitch to skip cutscenes. So whenever I mention to skip a cutscene, such as, for example, the leaving Outset cutscene skip, the Deku Tree cutscene skip, the Forsaken Fortress 2 cutscene skip, the Puppet Ganon cutscene skip, and the Ganondorf cutscene skip. Those all require the Pro Controller. So if you don't have it, you can simply just watch the cutscenes and skip that part in the tutorial. So here I'm going to be mashing both A and B. I'm going to be alternating between A and B. That is the fastest form of mashing in this intro cutscene. Some text will require you to hold B and mash A, but and so that's not all of them, and you have to have kind of a memorized which is which. But if you can't be bothered to memorize it, it's not that much slower to just mash A and B. It's only a few frames faster on those text boxes to hold B and mash A, and those are called quick text boxes. That's because pressing B will make the text appear in one frame. You can just hold it down. So anyway, after this cutscene, we will gain control, and so what you want to do here is you want to hold down left, and then press target, and that will make you face away from Errol, because if you face Errol and we're going to try to side hop, but if you face her, you talk to her, so we want to face away from her and side hop twice to get off the look tower, and then we're going to swim across. So that's faster than going on land and then rolling all the way around. This is the fastest way to get to Grandma's house. So on land, the fastest form of movement is rolling. So by that I mean pressing A while moving in a direction will perform a roll. And that gives you, as you may have noticed, 26 units of speed, while regular running around is 17. So it's quite a bit faster. What you want to do is you want to try to time your A presses to be as early as possible. Now if it's too early, this will happen. He won't roll. Like that. So that's an early A press. So you want them to be as close together as possible. There's a 2-frame window where if you time your A presses, you won't lose any speed in between each roll. But no matter what your timing of the A presses are, as you may notice, you always get 26 units of speed. So it doesn't really matter how fast your A presses are in that regard. But if you don't get the 2-frame window, you'll lose a little bit of speed between each roll. So you could drop down to like 23 units of speed if you have 1 frame between each roll. So you want to get that as tight as possible, or else you'll be losing frames. But the gist about timing rolling, so you want to try to get it as close to, you know, as close to perfect as possible. But if it's not perfect, if it's slower, it's not that bad. But if you're too fast is when you're really going to lose your time, because dropping a roll and running for a little bit, that's really where you're going to lose your time. So just make sure that you're not too tight on your rolls, so you kind of just get a feel for it with time on how fast to press A to roll. So we're going to head over to Grandma's house, and we're going to go in the door, and we're going to go see Grandma. So for here, we can roll to the ladder, and there you may have noticed I pressed target to move my camera like this, so that I can center the camera when I roll to the ladder. It's very useful to do that. And then we can roll to Grandma, and we're going to talk to her and get the clothes. So here I am alternating between A and B, you may notice. Alternating between A and B. That is the fastest way to mash text in the majority of scenarios. I recommend as a beginner, just go ahead and just mash A and B for all text, but there are some text boxes you're going to have to learn that you hold B and mash A. So I'll go over them in this run, but when in doubt, if you don't know what you're doing, just alternate between A and B. But there are some text boxes where if you hold B and mash A, it's faster, because pressing B will make the text advance in 1 frame, and then the A press will cancel it. So anyway, after talking to Grandma, we're going to save the game and quit. And go back to title screen. And then we're going to start up the file again, and then we're going to go to the beginning of Outset again. So this is faster than rolling all the way back to the start. So now we're going to roll to the ladder. I like to press target to turn my camera mid-roll. So we're going to climb up the ladder, and we're going to talk to Errol. Go. So we're gonna match to this text, and we're gonna get the telescope from her. Alright, so we're gonna equip the telescope and we're gonna zoom in at this bird. And then after this cutscene, we're going to aim up and aim at the bird. So aim all the way up, and now we watch this cutscene. So there's quite a few cutscenes in the beginning. Now after this cutscene is the first time that you see quick text. So quick text, as I mentioned, is hold B, mash A. Like this. So arrow will give you two quick texts. Alright, so here we go. So hold B, mash A. Here we go. Now we're gonna turn, side hop twice, and we're gonna go towards Orca. So now we have to go get the sword from Orca after watching that cutscene. So we're gonna roll to Orca's house. And there's text from the old man. We mash through that, and then we can go to the door. So now we're going to go talk to Orca, and we're going to get the sword. So he has to train us on how to get the sword. Now hold B and mash A here. So hold B and mash A there. That's faster than mashing both, because that's quick text. This is also quick text. So most of Orca's text is quick text. So the first time we're going to be doing neutral slashes. So you have to do all these slashes that you tell them. So the first one is a B, regular B slash. So don't hold target, don't hold any analog stick angle. But here's something interesting. When you do these combos, you can mash B for the combos. And on the, you can get a faster combo if the third attack you do, you hold nothing on the stick. And then on the fourth attack, you hold towards Orca, or in the direction that Link is slashing. So for this, because it's a neutral slash, the first two matter. The 3 and 4 should always be neutral and then 4. So here, it should be a neutral slash, so it's neutral, 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 forward. Neutral, 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 forward. So now we have a target slash. We're gonna hold target and do that same thing. So target, and then neutral, 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 forward. Neutral, 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 forward. So now we want to hold target and press B. And as you see, you can kind of center the camera if you really want. You can center the camera, but normally the camera will start going on this side of Link. Like this, it looks kind of weird. So I'm gonna have to, when I hold forward, I'm actually holding left towards Orca. And I'm gonna do forward, forward, neutral, forward. But that's actually gonna be left, left, neutral, left, because see how the camera is angled. Left, left, neutral, left. Left, left, neutral, left, while mashing B. Now this is a spin attack. I do want to mention for spin attack, so the way you do a quick spin, there's two ways to do spin attacks. You can press B and then let go of B, like that. It's one way you can do it. There's another way you can do it where you spin the stick and press B. Now, for that spin, it's easier to hold target while you spin. I don't know why, but it is easier to press target. You kind of like don't move as much. Well, if you do this, you can kind of change your turn angle by accident if you don't hold target. So I do recommend holding target while you spin. Do only one spin and then press B. So spin B. Now, if you spin, you just do way too many spins. Sometimes you won't spin. Let me see if I can show you. That time he did. There you go. So there, you saw I was spinning the stick, but I spun it for too long, and then randomly the spin attack missed. But let's say you're doing one spin and it's not consistent. You're just not getting it consistently. It could be that your stick is messed up. So one thing I like to do, if I notice that my spins are just failing, no matter what I do, one thing you can do is you can blow into the stick like this. Like that. Because there might be debris in there, and that would be messing up your spin. So blow in it, and then try it again, and see if you're getting spins. Anyway, there's one more kind of spin that I want to show. You can do a jump slash, and then spin the stick. And when he lands, he'll do the spin attack automatically. I'm not pressing B, he's doing it on his own. And that's going to be useful for later. So those are all the different ways you can get a spin. Oh, you can also do it out of a backflip. That's not really useful at all, but just know you can do that. So anyway, spin the stick. And then here, we're going to wait for the parry to come up, and we're going to press B. And then we're going to press A. And that'll make the next parry very fast. So you saw it came up really instantly. And the last two are just jump slashes. Here we go. Remember, all of this is quick text. Every single bit of this has been quick text. This is also quick text, so hold B, mash A. So now we have the sword. And I'm altering between A and B on that sword text, and now I'm holding B and mashing A again. So just recognize that the text is different. And also, you can really just mash A and B if you really, really want to for everything, if you can't remember. So now we're going to save and quit the game. Go back to title screen, and now I'm going to be using my Pro Controller because I normally play on gamepad unless I need to do pause storage. Now we have to be playing on Pro Controller. Now you don't have to play here on Pro Controller. Remember that you can switch outside of a save warp, but that loses 4 seconds. So let's say I was playing on gamepad, right? I can just play this part on gamepad until we go to the cutscene skip that requires Pro Controller, and then I can switch like this. So you don't have to play on Pro Controller here. I'm just letting you know that it's faster because if you are not playing on, if you're playing on gamepad, you'll then have to switch outside of a save warp, which costs 4 seconds. So anyway, we're going to go to Forest of Fairies. I will mention, you may notice, when I play on gamepad, I put my gamepad on my lap like this. It's, for me, the easiest way to keep it, because then I can equip while it's on my lap and play with Pro Controller. It's kind of annoying to do that, but that is, to me, what I recommend if you're playing with Pro Controller. And that will be coming up in a second. So we're gonna roll up here, and then we're gonna slash these trees, and then we're gonna keep going. Now, how do I move the camera while rolling? Because you may notice here, I can very easily move the camera while rolling, which if you think about it, those both require the right hand. So how am I doing them both at the same time? So this is what I recommend. This is what, the way I do it, I don't necessarily recommend it, but you can claw like this, where the pointer moves the stick, and your thumb moves, presses A. But what you can do instead is you can take the tip of your thumb and move the stick with the tip, and then with the base of the thumb, press A. So I can press both at the same time. So, as you can see, I'm keeping my thumb, and the thumb is doing both at the same time. Like that. So I can move the camera while rolling. So, that's what I like to do, because if you have just the default camera here, it really doesn't... I mean, it can move, it moves okay, but the default camera is kind of finicky to roll. Like, this is the default camera. And you can see, I can't really see around the corner when I'm rolling. But if I move the camera, I can see very easily around the corner. I'm moving the camera as I'm rolling. So I highly recommend, most runners, they highly prefer moving the camera rather than just letting the camera move itself. Like this. So anyway, we're gonna go to Forest of Fairies, and we're going to go ahead and fight some bokoblins. So for this part, we're going to... First, we're going to get a red rupee here. It's important for buying the sale. So here, you want to spin attack this log to collect the rupee without crawling under. And then we want to side up from there into this cutscene. And then we want to roll around this bokoblin, kind of just ignore him, climb up here, and jump across. Now, if he starts annoying you a lot, you can just spin attack him, and then he won't bother you anymore. Then you'll be good. So here, then we want to jump slash up this log like that. You want to be close enough to jump slash up. And then we want to roll off and hold up to roll into this cutscene. So here we're going to defeat these bokoblins. There is a faster strat you can do here, but for now I'm just going to recommend just slash your sword until they're dead. It takes 3 and then a spin attack. So 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then spin. There we go. And now here, you want to get some rupees from the grass while you have time. Unfortunately, those all turn to hearts because, as it turns out, if you have taken damage, hearts, you get heart drops. But those hearts will turn into rupees if you have full health. So because I didn't have full health, all those were hearts, so they would have been rupees. And we're trying to get to 80. So I have a little bit more than 20. That red rupee gave me 20. So I have a little bit more than that. But yeah, we're really, really trying to get to 80. So anyway, I'm going to cut the recording here, and I'm going to start back up after we're done with this cutscene. Alrighty, so after the cutscene, we're going to end up talking to these pirates. We're going to go ahead and roll to Grandma's house. But this time, we're going to jump slash over this fence right here. Then we're going to roll off, and be careful not to talk to her. So walk forward a little bit. See, if I just press A now, I'll talk to her. So I want to walk forward a little bit and then roll to the grandma's door. And then we're going to once again go up the ladder, and unfortunately, Grandma has decided to hoard the shield. So no shield. We're gonna mash for a backflip here out of this cutscene, and find out what Grandma's been up to. So it turns out Grandma has decided she wants to take the shield because she's so sad that Errol has been kidnapped. So poor Grandma. But anyway, the next glitch coming up that I want to talk about is the pause storage glitch. So this is the first time that we're going to see it. Pause storage can be used to skip cutscenes. So with pause storage, you can save warp during a cutscene, which allows you to then return to the title screen after you have triggered the cutscene, which then the next time you load up the area, there will be no cutscene. And so that's going to be useful to skip the leaving Outset cutscene. That's the first time we're going to see it in the run. The next thing we're going to do is skip the leaving Outset cutscene with pause storage. So pause storage is going to allow us to save warp during this next cutscene. It requires the Pro Controller, this as I mentioned. Now if you don't have a Pro Controller, you can't skip this cutscene. So instead, all you're going to do is you're going to go talk to Tetra. This is quick text, so hold B, mash A. And then you're going to watch the entirety of this cutscene of leaving Outset and then spawn on the pirate ship afterwards. So if you do not have a Pro Controller, go ahead and skip that next part and skip to when I'm on the pirate ship. So we're going to head over to Beetle, and we're going to go in as a loading zone because pause storage requires a loading zone, and this is the closest loading zone to the pirates. So in this loading zone, what we're going to do is we're going to enter. And then tap down, or tap just slightly down to turn Link around like this. You want him to be facing kind of towards the loading zone like this. It's kind of lenient, the angle. Then we want to hold target. And then we're going to be performing a roll and pressing the home button on the same frame while holding the option button. We're going to bring up this option menu right here. And so this is going to have to come out on the same frame as triggering the loading zone. So the good thing is that after you turn around, the amount of frames that it takes to come out is the same amount of frames that it takes for the roll to reach the loading zone if you dry roll like this. So those are going to happen at the same time. And so what you can do to make it easier and more lenient, it's not more lenient, but it's less punishing, is you can home buffer setup. So, I mean, one, you can do it unbuffered. So you have to release the option button while pressing A. Let me show you my hand for this. I'm holding the option button with this finger, this middle finger right here, and then you can release it and press A. That time was mistimed, unfortunately, but you get the point. If it works, they'll come out at the same time. But yeah, that is one way to do it. Let me show it one more time. Try to get it. There we go. You'll see it fade, and then this note. You mean if you see this menu after the loading zone, you know you got it. So that is one way to do it. The other way is by home buffering. So we're going to turn around again, and we're going to hold target, and then we're going to, with our middle finger, press option. It's going to go down and press option like this, and then our right pointer is going to be on the home button. And then our right thumb is going to be on A. So it's kind of a weird way to contort your fingers. And then we're going to press home and then A very rapidly. Home A. And then we're going to release the option button and press home again. And so here, what happened was Link didn't roll. That means that the home button press was too early. The good thing is that we can just try it again. Now, if you see this, you saw Link start to roll before the home buffer. It won't work. So those are the two ways you can mistime it. Now this way is worse because now we have to go back in the loading zone and try it again. If it works, you won't see Link move until after you home. So release the option menu and then press home again. And there we go. So now we know it worked because he didn't roll until after. So here we want to make sure we are all the way at the top of the menu. Now I usually scroll all the way to the top of the menu before this before we even reach the outside area. The reason that's really, really important is that this setup requires you to move instantly out of the loading zone. And if I press A to roll, you see I just changed an option. And the option that just changed was switching controllers. If you switch controllers, it's ripped. There's no way to back this up. Might as well just switch controllers again and go try again. So, switching controllers ruins pause storage. The other thing that ruins it is pressing B. So if I'm in this menu and I press B, it exits. And that also makes you lose pause storage. By lose, I mean you have to go back in this loading zone and do the entire thing again. So we're going to be doing blind movement after we get pause storage. So let's pretend I got pause storage. I'm going to show what the blind movement looks like. So, it starts as soon as you gain control. You have to do it really quickly because Beetle's ship rocks back and forth and changes your roll. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mash A and hold up and target. Hold target the entire time to roll off the ship like this. So this roll will be messed up if you waited too long. So then we're going to hold up to start moving a little bit and then roll twice like that. And then we're going to move left a little bit like here. And then we're going to side hop 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you see, I ended up right next to Tetra. So that's good. We talk to her, and then we'll watch the cutscene. I don't want to watch the cutscene yet. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to show it off what it looks like quickly, and then I'm going to show the entire sequence. No, I don't want to buy anything. Okay, so let me show it. So this is the whole thing. There we go. So, now, let me show it with pause storage. So I'm going to do the entire sequence. Okay, so we get to retry it. Let's go all the way to the top. All right, and there we go. All right, mash the text. All right, so now we should be able to get to this point. If you've gotten to this point, we want to be at the very top of the menu. So I'm all the way at the top of the menu. I can hit down 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and I was using the D-pad to be at the top of the menu. So anyway, yeah, unfortunately I'm not displaying the D-pad, but I was hitting D-pad up. But the analog stick works too. You can hit the analog stick or D-pad. So 4 times from the top of the menu, press A, and that will switch controllers. Now I can, on the gamepad screen, I press down on the analog stick, to go to down on the analog stick, to press A, and then we can, oh no, sorry, up on the analog stick, not down. And then we can save, and then we can use the touchscreen at this point. So, but you have to use the analog stick to move from the option button to the save button. So we can save and quit the game, and now we are on the title screen, and now we can go ahead and enter the pirate ship. So we're going to enter the pirate ship, and we're going to get the spoils back. So for this movement, for here, you can just hold target and mash A. And that just does all the movement for you. This is quick text. Those 2 right there, hold B and mash A. So for here, alternate between B and A. So only for those 2 were quick text. There's a few other random text boxes that are quick text that I'll point out. So this last text box at the very end where he gives you a question mark is quick text. So that there, I held B and mash A. So here you want to press target and slide up once to the right. Now we want to do rope game. So for these ropes, you want to swing for a little bit and then let go. Like that. These last 2, you want to go for a little longer. Because these last 2 ropes are weird. And this one too. Well, you also want to not fail, because if you fall down, you have to do the entire, you have to go back up again. But interestingly enough, the property of these ropes changes when you swung on them once before. So the second time is actually easier. That's how Nintendo designed it, to make it so that it's easier the second time. So this one should be fine as well, but we haven't swung on this last one, so we have to wait longer, like that. And then we can go to Nico, and we're done. So yeah, rope game is kind of weird because of those last two ropes. The first two are consistent. The last two are kind of weird. You have to swing for longer. And then this is quick text right here. Hold B, mash A for that last one. So now we're going to go get this Bowls bag. So this also here is hold B, mash A, that text box right there. So we can save and quit. It's faster than leaving the pirate ship normally to get to the outside area of Forsaken Fortress. So now we're going to go talk to Tetra. We're going to climb the ladder and watch a cutscene. That is also quick text right there. That there, you want to hold B and mash A. So yeah, this is a pretty long cutscene. Just know that your mashing here, it's not that important, but just know that the lights, the lights move on a cycle, and they move during this cutscene. So just know that how long you take to do this cutscene will alter where the light position is by a little bit. If you are just alternating between A and B like this, it should be pretty consistent. It should only be a few frames off each time, which doesn't really matter that much. But your mashing speed does kind of matter here, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, this is a pretty long cutscene. I will cut the recording and I'll be back after. Alrighty, we are back. So, I just watched the cutscene in Forsaken Fortress and I paused the game because the light cycle will move if I just wait. So here, I recommend go ahead and just watch this cutscene here. You can skip this text if you roll onto the rocks on the left, but it's kind of precise and tricky, and unless you do it really quickly, it's not going to save you time. So I recommend just go ahead and get this text. And then we're going to roll up the stairs, and we're going to have to wait for these lights. So be very, very patient. So wait until they're completely gone, and then go. So that, I should wait just a little longer. Be very, very, very patient. And then that's going to go up the stairs. As that light goes up the stairs, that's a really good time to get these rupees. And then the light's going to come down the stairs, and then we can go. So, like that. Now, I just want to show, so that you know, how close you have to be these spotlights to trigger them. As you see, that's not hitting me. But you can be kind of far out of these spotlights, and they still see you. That time it didn't see me. That time it did. And you saw I was not really close at all to the spotlight. But unfortunately it got me. You want to get those 2 red rupees. It's very, very important. So if you didn't get them, you're kind of going to have to go back for them. But let me just show what happens if you get caught here, which a lot of beginners get caught. So let me show you how to get out. So we can kind of just crawl past this pot. You can't roll in that room because then you'll just trigger the Gossip Stone. So after here, let me just show you where to go. So let's say you didn't get the rupees. Then you want to go towards this door. This is the door you want to go to if you didn't get the rupees. But, so then you would want to jump all the way back down and then get them right here. And then there's also this text box. There's this cutscene. But let's say you did get the rupees, right? Let's say we're good. This is not the fastest door. That's because the next area we want to go to is actually where the left door leads. So this is one way you can go after you've gotten the rupees. You can go in this door, and then you can go in this door. And after these 2 loading zones, you reach the area you want to get to, because we want to go to this ladder right here. That ladder right there. Let me just give you an idea of where I am. I'm going to use the hacker to cheat. So let me give you an idea of where we just... we came from here, and we need to get to the corridor that's underneath the ground here. So, in order to skip those 2 loading zones, there's a faster way you can do this. This is the second fastest way. So the slowest way is to go into those 2 doors. The second fastest way is to go in the middle of these 2 windows, and then hold target, move Link backwards, and then after he falls, hold up. And that'll make him grab, and then he can get to here, and now we're at the ladder. There is one faster way you can do this that I want to show. And that is called a window jump. So the window jump requires rolling up against this wall right here and then reaching that ledge. Now, as you can see, I missed. It's kind of precise. So doing it setupless, I don't really recommend. there is a setup for it. So what you want to do is you want to go underneath this torch right here, like right here, and you want to aim the left edge of the B button with the right edge of this wall right here. This wall right there. That's the wall you want it to be at. So go under the torch, which is right here, at this corner where these two walls meet. This wall and this wall. And then we aim, and then we hold target, and then just hold up an A. And that should work pretty much every time. Make sure you don't hold up after the roll, after the jump, or else you'll just roll into this wall, and that loses time. But anyway, we're gonna jump off here. Now remember, there's text around this ladder, so you can't roll when you're close to it. And then we're gonna climb the ladder, and we're gonna go take out the bokoblin at the searchlight. So for this bokoblin, I'm gonna show you the fastest strategy. So the fastest strategy, first you want to trigger him by rolling towards him. And then you want to lead him out from the searchlight and then quickly move towards this pot and just wait at the pot with your back to him. Don't ever turn towards him. And then he's going to slash you and hit the pot. Now you want to pick up a stick, move towards the outside of him, and then spin attack him off the ledge. Now it might take more than one, but there you go. So now we have killed him. The fastest way to kill him is to spin attack him off the ledge. But if that doesn't work, you can just kill him. As long as he's dead, you're good. So now we want to bring the stick with us. And in this first window, we can use the stick to skip it a lot faster. So if you don't want to do this, you can just go off the ledge, hold up. But there's a faster way to do this. I'm going to show that. Okay, so the other way you can do it is turn towards this way, go in the first window, because this works in the first window, back off, and then press A to jump slash midair. And then you can skip grabbing, and it's a lot faster. Then we can roll to the door, and we are ready to go to the next area. So, for this next area, we want to roll to the left, and then forward. Now, that is kind of difficult to do, what I just showed. But let me show you another way you can do it, because it's kind of difficult to reach it's easy to go too far left on this. So let's say you're worried about going too far left. You can swing backwards and then turn while swinging, and then go towards the door. So either way works. So next we're going to go to, we're gonna have to go past two moblins. So in this game specifically, you can just roll past moblins. There's a very long time where they chase you before they catch you and go to jail. So for this one, we're gonna have to have pretty good rolls, and we can literally just roll around him. But remember that he takes control of the camera. So when he sees you, you have to roll away from the camera, not towards. Towards the camera, not away from it. All right, let's see that one more time. Just make sure that your rolls are in good directions, and you should make it. There we go. But yeah, it's weird how the moblin takes control of the camera, but it will always face the moblin. So as long as you understand that, you should be good. You can also roll past this moblin, same thing. He will only see you as you're turning the corner, and sometimes he doesn't see you. It depends on his RNG. So like here, he didn't see me, as you may notice. He didn't see me at all. Sometimes he does. If he does see you, you want to make sure that you roll towards this part of the wall. Because if you see, his line will be cut off faster if you get past this part of the wall right here. Right? So if you're out here, he can see you for longer. While if you get past this corner right here, he can no longer see you. There is one other way to do it that I also recommend trying if you have trouble with this. And that is by using the barrel. So here's how you can get past him by using the barrel. So what you do is you go get the barrel, put it on, and then you take it all the way towards the corner until he sees you. As soon as he sees you, freeze. And then he'll stop spotting you, and then you can take it off. Okay, so he actually, like this. And then wait, and then you can go. So either way works. That time he actually didn't spot me, so I was actually good. I kind of had to just wait until he spotted me. But anyway, now we're good to go over here to the two saddle points. For this, we want to saddle across these two walls. You can kind of mash, mash this stick like this. Like, mash on the stick. It makes it move a little faster. But it's kind of rhythmic. Oh, oops. Yeah, also, yeah, be careful not to do that, because then you have to go back up again. Hold on. Cheating. Alright, so yeah, like I said, rhythmic mashing. And this is why we took out the searchlight. Right here, there's normally a searchlight aiming at this wall, but it's not because we took it out. Now, if it was still aiming at the wall, that means the bokoblin did not die. So anyway, we're good to go. We can roll past here and get to this sword, and so we can go pick up the sword and kill the bokoblin. I do want to mention the fastest strategy for the sword, for this fight, is get 3 slashes on him, and then, so here's how I'm show it. So we're gonna get 3 slashes. 1, 2, okay, that's 3 right there. They double hit. Now we can side hop, right? And then mid-air, we do a side hop and a jump slash, like this. And then we spin the stick after the jump slash. So it would be side hop, B, jump slash, and then spin the stick, like this. And so that, after 3 hits, is enough to kill him in 1 hit. So you can do all of that to have the fastest fight possible. So now we're gonna go ahead and watch this cutscene and go to Windfall. Alrighty, so after we watch the cutscene, we've spawned here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to roll and get onto Windfall, and we're going to start collecting rupees. We also have to free Tingle because that's required to buy the sale. Here we can spin attack these flowers. You gotta get some rupees. If I had health, those would have been rupees instead of hearts. Just keep that in mind, that your health will change that. And we can also get this pot right here. It's easy to slash the pot and then spin to collect the rupee. Now we have to head over to Tingle, which is in this door right here. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to side up twice to the left, like this. And after side upping twice to the left, we will get on that switch, and that will trigger Tingle. So yeah, this cutscene is required to buy the sale. So we have a very lovely 69 rupees. We're gonna have to get another 11 more, and then we can go ahead and sail over to Dragon Roost after we buy the sale. So all of the items he gives you are useless. This is only to buy the sale. Now I do want to show you, there is another blue rupee in here that I don't think a lot of people know about, that you can get if you're very, very, very low on rupees. If you absolutely need to. It's not very fast, but there is a 5 rupee under Tingle's bed, so I'll go ahead and show you that. Now after this cutscene, you want to mash A and then mash B on the gamepad. A and then B, or on the Pro Controller, either one. That gets rid of all these text boxes. So all the first text boxes, and then it'll switch to a different set of text box and you mash B. So this is the blue rupee you can get. So that's one of the options you can get. And I'll show you where all the other blue rupees are, or all the other rupees we can get. So we can also go under here and get this blue. Now I have 79 rupees, I only need 1 more, but let me show you, there's more over here. We can release the stick to not roll off this ledge, or you can just hold target. And then we go around here and we can slash and then spin. Sometimes the rupees fall off the ledge. Then we can side hop over to here. And the other rupees that I want to show you is this one. This is a guaranteed blue. And then this one can be a green, blue, yellow, or red, which is random. That was a blue, so all of that is useful to buy this sale. So then we talk to Janari. It doesn't matter which stand you talk to him at. We're gonna hold B and mash A for this text. This is quick text. And then we're going to go ahead and go to the boat and sail away. So we can jump off from here, and then we can very quickly get to the boat from here. And we're gonna hold B and mash A for this text. And then we're gonna mash A and B for that. And then we're gonna go and get in the boat and sail. So for sailing, we want to head towards Dragon Roost. So we want to turn, and what I'm doing right here is I'm taking away the sail. I'm taking out the sail and then putting it away. And so we're gonna aim towards Dragon Roost. I want to show you exactly why we do it. You may notice that every time I take out the sail, I'm getting this little boost. You may notice. So that every time I take out the sail, I get a little boost. That saves like 2 seconds over the course of this entire sailing section, but all the seconds count, right? So anyway. Something really going on here, so we're gonna sail all the way to Dragon Roost, and yeah, I will cut the recording until I reach Dragon Roost. Alright, so We reach Roost Island, and this is quick text right here, so hold B, mash A. And we're gonna go ahead and get the Wind Waker. So again, all of the text at the beginning of this cutscene is hold B, mash A. It's not until after we reach the dock and the boat starts telling you about the Wind Waker that you can mash A and B. So I'll tell you when. Okay, and now mash A and B. Alternate between the two. So for the first one, we're gonna move the right stick to control the Wind Waker. And we're just gonna go in the directions it tells us. So up, right, up, down, right. All right, and then we're gonna hold left on the left stick, and then go up, right, down, left, up, right, left, down. Jeez. All right, on the right stick. All right, and then after this, we have gotten the Wind Waker, and we can continue. So we can skip bombing all of the rocks on Roost Island. So normally you're supposed to go up this way, but we can go this way instead. And then climb up here. And then we can get towards this ledge. That's where we want to go by doing a series of jumps. So the first jump we're going to do is we're going to slide up onto this rock, and then we're going to tap forward and A to roll like that. This is the easiest part. The next part, there's two options. The one option you can do is you can roll across this gap right here. It's kind of difficult because you want to roll kind of far to the left, but if you roll too far left, you bonk the rock, or you can pick it up by accident, or you can kind of just roll at the rock, and it can stop you. I don't know. I'm trying to get it. Anyway, yeah. So this jump is kind of difficult. Let me show you the other option besides this jump. You can pick up this bomb, put it down, or throw it, or yeah, it's R to drop it. Oops. R to drop it, and then you can slash it, and then you can shield it. Slashing it makes it go off faster. So yeah, we can do that to get to here. So either way works. Whatever you want to do, jump across is faster though than bombing it. And then we have a few cutscenes. Alrighty, so we're going to roll into the inside, and then we're going to watch another cutscene. So I will be skipping this cutscene with the hacker. Let me do that real quick. Okay, so after watching this cutscene, we would be here. Hold on. Let me give myself the delivery bag because I skipped the cutscene. There we go. Okay, so after this cutscene, we're going to roll up here. And we're gonna go talk to Medley and hold B, mash A for this. But then she's going to give you the letter, and that's when you mash A and B. So here you mash A and B, and then we're gonna hold B and mash A for the rest of the text. All right, so then we're gonna turn around and be careful not to bonk here. And then we're going to, when we roll off here, we're going to roll and then release the stick. That makes it so that he doesn't jump. And then we can hold target, and that'll turn the camera. And then we can press A and then press it forward to get a landing roll. So that's the whole movement there. And it's optimal to equip the letter as you're moving. So it's kind of awkward to navigate the touchscreen while moving, but it is fastest to do that. So it's kind of difficult, but you kind of get used to it. So here we're going to go to Kamali, and we're going to give him the letter. And you're going to hold B and mash A for this. For all of this text. Alright, so then we can roll to the door from there. You can also roll to him, either way. And then for these stairs coming up, if you just hit them head on, you'll bonk. Like that, well, I think it's, you can bonk on any of these, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but if you hit them at an angle, you don't bonk. So that's why I angled to the right. So you can roll up those, no problem. Now we're gonna go to here. So this part right here, your movement in here only matters on Spanish. On Italian, your movement here, so right there, I show the movement that I like to do. I kind of roll off to the right to try to not land on the rock. But if you're on Italian, this movement doesn't really matter because you have to wait for the wind cycle anyway. So the wind in here moves on a cycle. And so you can only throw medley after the wind is going towards the ledge. So if you're on Spanish, you need to instantly throw her. And you need to have good movement. But if you're on Italian, it doesn't really matter. So you want to go up the rock and you want to throw medley. So look, I have to wait because I'm on Italian. Throw her, don't jump off the rock. Don't move the camera, don't anything after you throw medley. Because the cutscene after this will, not the cutscene, gaining control after the cutscene, it will take longer if you jumped off the rock. So don't jump off the rock, don't move after throwing medley. So then she'll give you the bottle. So now we're going to equip the bottle and get water. And this is difficult to quick to do quickly too. So going to go get water. Now we're gonna go onto this rock and we're gonna jump from the rock to the ladder. It's faster than climbing it normally. Now we're going to water one of these bomb flowers and we're gonna throw it onto this boulder. So real quick for throwing bomb flowers, what matters is your position. So if I'm here, let's say if I throw it from here, it will not work, as you see. It flew over the boulder, and you'd say, well, why don't I just hold the bomb for longer? You can do that, but actually it doesn't matter if you throw the bomb from like here. Now, if I throw it from too far back, this is what happens. So there it hit the water. But if you throw it from here, you can throw it early and it gets stuck on the boulder. So as long as you throw it and it lands on the front face, it won't fly over the boulder. It's only if it lands further than the top of the boulder that it'll keep going and bounce across. So it's really just your position you throw it from and your angle, obviously. So here we're going to jump into the water and swim across. And then we're going to climb up. And then what we can do here is we can do 2 rolls, and we can side up left, which is a little bit faster than going all the way around. Just a little bit, saves a few frames. We're gonna pick up this bomb and throw it in. Now be careful not to go too far forward. You move while you throw it, so if you're here and you throw it, you'll fall in the lava. So then we're gonna pick up the other one. We're gonna take a really wide angle and jump towards this, and we can actually go and see up and throw it. Like that. So you can actually aim and see up if you want as well. But you may notice that what I do is, because I take this wide angle, I can just throw it instantly after I throw it, after I jump, rather than, as an alternative, is jumping here and then having to turn and throw it. So basically what I'm doing is I'm lining up my angle as I'm jumping to make it easier for me to throw it in. So anyway, here, these are really annoying steps, as you may notice. You can bonk a lot. What I like to do is I like to do a roll and then walk past these 2 steps, then roll into the wall and then walk past this step. So roll, walk past this step, roll on this step, and then after there. So the timing of your rolls matter. Alrighty, so the Dragon Roost Cavern is the dungeon we're going to be doing. We're only going to do it up until the grapple. So for this first room, what you want to do, be careful not to bonk up these steps. You want to not roll while you're on these steps. You can fit in 2 rolls here. You want to grab this pillar by pressing A, and then hold back to move it all the way. Then that block, and then this one you only have to move once. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull sword, and then we're going to navigate between the 2, and then here you can just jump slash over the ledge. And now we're going to spin attack this guy to make him disarm his stick. We're going to grab it, and then we're going to head up here. And then you want to jump off to the left here so that he gets a jump. And then, so he can get up here without climbing. And you want to light this, and then you can aim at the second one from the middle and throw it. And that will allow you to skip having to light it manually, and you'll be in the middle, so it skips a trip back and forth. We want to open this chest, and then we want to then jump down, and you want to pull a sword and enter this door. So here we're going to roll twice, and then we're going to slash here, and then you can roll during this cutscene. So you just roll through it. Okay, so then we're going to head across here. We're going to jump across this first gap over here. And then here you can jump slash down like that, or you can side hop. Side hopping is faster. You can only have to pull this out once, and then we can jump off onto here. Then we're gonna head around here. Be careful not to get by this lava pillar right there. And then for bomb throwers, they go off faster if you throw them faster. So you want to, you don't have to go super far to throw it. And then you can roll through that rock as it's exploding. I kind of got stuck here, but you can go around to the right and roll as it is going off. So here in this room, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the camera directly right and then pick up this pot. And then don't move the camera up or down, just right and left. You throw it and then jump. And what that'll do is that'll prevent the cutscene from playing. So for here, we're going to climb up, but only climb up to here where the left hand is above the right, kind of like 3 rungs from the top. And wait for the tube, because or else he'll just hit you. So here's something I want to mention about climbing ladders. You don't really notice it here as much, but you do notice it for later ladders. If you just hold a direction on the stick, keep holding that direction and turn the camera, you may notice Link will just keep walking the same direction. Normally, so if I release it, if I move the camera and I hold up, he'll just spin around, right? But what was happening there? So this is called analog glitch. It happens when you climb ladders in this game, and I think it happens on pulling blocks as well. So if I hold up, and I'll get this analog glitch. So that's why after you climb ladders, you want to first of all release the stick and then press it again. And so what you want to do is you want to control Link with the stick and not the camera. So if I want to go right, I go right. If I want to go left, I go left. Now, as soon as I've turned the stick, analog glitch is gone. So for this ladder, let's say I climb the ladder with this camera angle. I need to get rid of this guy. It really only happens if your camera has changed since you've held the stick. So if I hold up, he'll go. If I change the camera, he will not change his like movement direction basically. So that's why you want to move with the stick and not the camera. But you don't notice as much on this ladder. On this one, just release the stick and then start pressing it again, and you should be good. But there's another ladder later where it's a real big problem. So anyway, for the next room, you want to have this guy break the barrier and then spin attack him. And then be careful to not pick up this pot. You can slash it with a sword. And then you can throw the stick at this one with B. And then same thing here, you can throw it at this fence with B. And then climb up, and then we can open the chest. And then for here, I like to unlock the camera by holding the right stick. And then I can simply move towards the camera and towards go between the torch and the edge there. Is the fastest way to get out of this room. And then now you're supposed to spin attack this rock, which you can do. It's one thing you can do. Not the rock, but the bomb. Another thing that you can do is you can pick up a pot and throw it at the bomb flower, and then you can roll through the boulder as it's exploding. So those are your 2 options there. Now you want to side up here because it's faster than jumping up normally. And then we're going to make sure you pull sword, and we're going to enter this door. And so then we're going to head over to this guy, this bokoblin. We're going to wait for him to come out, and we want to spin attack him. He doesn't actually have to break the fence. Now we're going to pick up the stick, light it, and we can throw it from there. And then we're going to go step on the switch. So now we're going to head across here. Now be very careful not to void out here. So here, for this bokoblin, you want to jump off to the right. And then what you want to do is you want to swing around to the left and then go to the ladder. That will manipulate him. If you do it correctly, that will manipulate him. Now, there's a lava cycle here. This is the highest you could stand without getting burned. So if you have to wait for this lava, you gotta wait right here. So there's a cycle, and so depending on how fast you are, you might have to wait for it. But if you're fast enough, you don't have to wait for it. So here, this is where you notice analog glitch. So if I turn the camera, you see how it doesn't turn Link? This is where I see a lot of people jump off by accident, because if you have to jump across this gap right here, and you have to be very, very cognizant of analog glitch. So after I'm climbing this ladder, first of all, I'm releasing the stick, and then you can do that. You can release the stick and then press it again. So like right after you finish climbing, and then you should be able to turn the camera. But that has to be after you gain control of Link again. You have to release to neutral and then press again. You won't get analog glitch. But in the event that you do, just one thing I recommend, turn the camera and then don't move the camera at all. Just move Link with the stick, and you want to jump across here. So you want to go up against the wall. That's how you jump across. So you have to be pressing up against the wall. You can't make it from here. But what you can do for safety is do a mid-air jump slash like this. Just in case that you don't think you're going to make it. You can do a mid-air jump slash. But yeah, that has to be from, you have to do it from as far right as possible. You can't jump across from here because you see the gap is wider from there. But yeah, so once again, climb the ladder, don't move the camera, just move the stick, jump across. And there you go. So, yeah, that's to avoid analog glitch. So here, we're going to come up on this edge. Now, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to climb up here, and then you're supposed to very, very slowly move across. That's the casual way to do it. But there's a faster way to do it. There's a few faster ways. I'm going to show you all the faster ways. The way that I prefer is you want to run into this, well, you want to run into the wall and roll. I kind of forgot to roll. So, yeah, you want to get a roll, and that'll allow you to jump. Let me get back up there. So, it's that with a roll. And make sure you have sword in hand. So you're gonna climb up, you're gonna roll, and then you're gonna jump slash at the end. And that will allow you to jump across. So you just gotta make sure that roll is into the wall. So if it's too far to the right, it's not gonna work. But it has to be kind of 30 degree, 45, probably 30 degrees into the wall. Like that. So that's one way to do it. There's another way to do it. That's, so if you climb up, and then you want to get as far left as possible without falling down. So here is good. Then you can side hop and then jump slash. Like that. So that's one other way to do it. That one is kind of scary, but it's not that bad. And then the last way to do it is to climb up and then perform a frame perfect roll like that. So that's frame perfect. There's one frame to do it. It's basically, you can't tell if you're early or late, unfortunately. Because either way, what happens is it gets pushed back. So basically, there's this one frame window where you can roll before he gets pushed back by the edge, like this. So it's a one frame window. So if you're early, you get pushed back. If you're late, you get pushed back. But you're wanting to roll on that one frame before he gets pushed back. So here, then we can get to this edge right here, and then we can roll off to the side, and that will allow you to climb up just a little bit faster. We want to pick up this bomb and bounce it off the wall like this, and then jump down. You bounce it off the wall because it's slightly faster than throwing it down, because when it hits the surface, it shortens the timer by a lot. And then we're going to head in here. So the fastest movement in here is to side up twice, like this. But that can be kind of difficult. So what I recommend is holding the right stick down, and then just holding target. Pressing target each time. So as you notice, if I hold down on the right stick and I press target, it doesn't move the camera, so it doesn't center it if I'm holding down on the right stick. You can also hold up on the right stick, but I mean, it's a weird camera angle. So you can do that. You can also just not hold down the right stick, but then you have to wait long enough for him to turn, for the camera to center, or else he might roll or backflip by accident. The other option is to side hop and then jump slash. So that is the easiest of all of them. So now we want to pull this block, and I'm going to climb. This next one you only pull once. And so here you can either, this is the slowest way to do it, is climb twice like this. But there's a faster way to do this, where you climb with a little bit of him hanging off to the right, and then you perform a roll off the block. And so then you can grab this ledge right here, which is a little bit faster. So now we're going to head over here, and we're going to read this text by pressing A. This is not important, just you have to clear the text in order to climb the block. So we want to pull it out once, and then we're going to climb, and I'm going to roll off to the left edge like this. That's going to allow me to climb faster. Then we're going to slash this stick pot, and then we're going to pick it up. And so here, we're gonna have to throw it at the wall, at the fence. So you can go into first person and aim if you want before pressing B. So you can aim, press B, and then throw. It's a lot easier to aim in first person because it goes exactly where you're aiming. So now we're going to climb this ladder. This is another one where you can get analog glitch. You want to release the stick and then press up again. At any time in the ladder you can do it, just to make sure that you don't get analog glitch. So here we're going to jump off, and then we're going to climb the right side of the block this time, and then roll off to the edge. And then we can go to this door, And so here in this next area, these first 2 steps, you can roll up, no problem. But this one, you'll bonk. So you have to walk up these. And now we're going to head to this bird, target him, and slash. And that will pick up the key. Now be very careful to not fall down here. So you can just turn the camera and then start rolling. Now we're going to slash these pots, pick up the stick, light it, and then we're gonna head all the way over here. Gonna light this fence, and here we're going to light the first torch, throw it at the second, and then side hop. Now these keys you can target these keys. So if you're not comfortable doing it, just don't do the side hop. The side hop, you could target the keys and then it could mess it up. So be careful for that. But here we're gonna roll across this this bridge, and then we're gonna head into the 3 bokoblin room. So we're gonna have to kill all these bokoblins. So I'm going to show you the fastest strategy. But if you're not comfortable, just go ahead and just slash them until they're dead. 3 slashes and a spin will take care of them. But you can also jump slash quick spin like this. So what I just did is I held target and then pressed A and then spun the stick midair. And so if both hits connect, it insta kills him. You can also slash him and then side hop jump slash quick spin. Spin. There we go. That will also take care of him. So for this guy, we're going to hit him, and then we're going to bonk here. So real quick, just want to mention, part of this wall is not bonkable. I'll show you in a second. But here you want to slash both of them. This guy too, and then side hop jump slash quick spin. And that will take care of both of them. And so that's the fastest way to kill all of them. I have really, really low health. I'll have to get health. So I just want to mention, right here, you can't bonk. I don't know why they designed it this way, but this part of the wall, you cannot bonk. But just be careful to not go up against right here. You have to go to the right of it or to the left, but not right here. So just don't try to go to this part of just don't try to bonk there. So the fastest movement here, let me get some health before I forget. Okay, so the fastest movement here actually is to jump slash onto this part of the table and then jump to the ladder from there. That's the fastest movement, or you can just climb the ladder. This next room's kind of dumb. This is probably one of the hardest rooms in Dragon Roost Cavern. So for this room, we have to very quickly pick up the pot and throw it at the platform. So I'm gonna show you exactly what we have to do and then explain how I did it. So we want to go around this keys. I always go around to the right and then throw it and then jump on the platform. And then we can jump to the ledge from there. So let me just go ahead and show you why that's kind of dumb. So for one, when you jump with this pot, the keys, not the keys, the magtail can knock you down as soon as you jump. So I've found that just jumping towards the middle is the best way to go about it. The other thing is that for some reason, it's always better to go to the right of the magtail, not the left. I don't know why, but that just is what it is. It has something to do with how it turns. The other thing is that you want to wait until after the magtail has attacked you to move around it. And be careful not to get hit by it. So he attacks, go around to the right, and throw it. So, if the magtail will not attack you, you cannot go around because the magtail will literally block you. So you have to dodge the magtail attack by going around. So anyway, hardest room in the dungeon, in my opinion. So here we're gonna open the door as far right as possible, and then from here you can just simply side up down, like this. And then you can pick up the pot, and then, not the pot, the bomb, throw it at the rock, and then roll as soon as the bomb goes off. Alrighty, so we're entering the last room of the dungeon. So this last room, this is where we have the mini boss fight. We have to go up these falling stairs, and so one thing to mention is that these very first set of stairs you can bonk like this. It's kind of like sometimes you can just roll straight up and it won't, like that, and it just won't bonk. Other times you roll and you bonk. So it's there you go. Thanks for demonstrating. It's kind of just random. So for the first set of stairs, until it just starts. Until we get to like right here, you can't roll, but here you can roll towards the middle, because for some reason if you roll at the walls, sometimes you'll bonk the falling stairs and void out. It's like a 1 in 100 thing, but it will happen to you eventually if you roll at the wall, even though technically it is faster to roll at the wall because you're taking the shortest path, but it's only a few frames, so it's safer to just roll in the middle. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and fight these bokoblins. So the fastest way to fight these bokoblins is to hit them 3 times, both of them 3 times, and then jump slash quick spin. And then we'll do that for this guy as well. I did not mean to do that. You can also just slash them until they're dead. Now, I do recommend picking up this sword for this fight, because this sword deals double damage to the moblin. So, the way the moblin works is that if you walk too close to him, he will push you away, like this. He'll just keep doing that over and over again. And that's consistent. So, he's RNG unless he's doing this. So what I want you to try to get used to this. When he pushes you back, you can slash him. So you can just keep doing this over and over again. So that is probably the easiest way to fight him. So you walk up to him and then release the stick. And then he pushes you and then you slash. Then you walk up to him and then release the stick. He pushes you and then slash. And you do that 5 times and he's dead. You can also throw the stick at him the last time. It's kind of cool to do that. So anyway, now we're going to talk to Medley, alternate between A and B. We're going to go ahead and get the grapple, and that is it for Dragon Roost Cavern. So anyway, this is where the run's going to change a lot. So we're going to pick up the grapple. This is going to allow us to item slide. So item sliding is very, very powerful. I'll explain it after I save warp. So anyway, we're going to be leaving the dungeon. So anyway, we get the grapple. We're going to equip the grapple, and then we're going to save and quit. And now begins item sliding. So item sliding is kind of crazy. I'm going to go ahead and show off how you item slide. So the grapple is, the whole reason we got it was to item slide, because item sliding is the most powerful glitch in the game. Basically, if you pull out the grapple, you can move around in first person. And so for whatever reason, if you hold a direction, and then you pause and hold slightly in the opposite direction, and then unpause, you'll start gaining a bunch of speed. Now, let me show my speed value. Okay, so you see my normal speed is 14.4. So I pause, and then hold slightly in the opposite direction, unpause. Now look at it go. Whee! So, it can just indefinitely gain speed. You see how fast I'm gaining speed? After 13 seconds of charging this, if you stay in first person, you keep gaining speed, as you may notice. But after 13 seconds, your game crashes because your speed gets so high that the game can no longer calculate your speed. It overflows and the game crashes. So don't do that. Now, but, so you can leave first person. You have to leave first person to prevent yourself from gaining more speed. So one thing I can do is I can press A. That's a really good way to cancel first person. But if you press A, you lose all your speed, as you may notice. Or you can also pull Windmaker. Either way, I lose all my speed, I go back to 0. Like that. But there's another really useful way to leave first person, and that's by pressing target. So if I press target, now you see my speed is now slowly decreasing. And so it decreases a lot slower if I hold ESS. See how it's decreasing a lot slower? ESS is in slightly off from the center of the stick. So now it's falling at normal speed. And so now that he has speed in third person, we can move him around and do a bunch of things. So that's, I guess, the gist on item sliding. There's other things I'll show off in a second, but that's the general gist, is pull out an item, hold a direction, pause, hold slightly in the opposite direction, and unpause. Now this works in any direction too, so I can item slide to the right. It's kind of harder to do right to left. If I hold slightly left, I can hold left and then hold slightly right. I can hold down and then hold slightly up, but as you notice, the controls are inverse. So if I hold down, he goes up. If I hold right, he goes left. If I hold down, he goes up, and so on. You gotta be careful to not crash your game. That's a lot of speed. And that's true in third person as well. So if I hit target after a lot of speed, now look, if I hold down, he goes up. If I hold right, he goes left. So it's inverse. Inverse controls. That's because his speed is negative. You can convert his speed to positive, which I'm going to show off in a second. You can pull Windmaker to cancel your speed. That's a really good way to do it. So if I item slide forwards by holding down, and then at any point I hold up, now you see it, he has positive speed. Okay, don't want to charge too much. So you saw his speed went from minus whatever to just that speed. That's useful because then if I hit target while I have positive speed, now look, he's running forwards. Now, and the controls are normal. So that's the difference between negative and positive speed, is the controls and what direction Link is facing. So now he's facing the direction that he's moving in. The other interesting thing I want to show You can also cancel it with first person. You can also cancel it with a bottle swipe. There's a lot of ways to cancel your speed. You can also backflip. You can roll. There's a lot of things you can do. But if I gain speed and I have negative speed and I hit target, I will go to the left, directly left of where Link is facing. And that's the opposite is true if I have positive speed. So if I charge speed and then I have positive speed by hitting, you really have to just hit the direction you're moving in to convert to positive. So if Link is moving left, I hit left. If Link is moving forward, I hit forward. So in this case, I am slide forward, I hit forward to convert positive. If I hit target, I go to the right. So that's another difference between positive and negative speed, is that if you hit target, you go to the right. Also, positive versus negative speed changes whether you can clip, which I'll show you clips in a second. So anyway, that's the just on item sliding. Let's continue with the run. So I'm going to leave the dungeon and I'm going to save and quit again. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna have to do with item sliding is a super swim. So we're going to have to super swim from Outset Island to from Dragon Roost Island to Thorn Ferry. And so let me pull up a map. Let me pull up a map so you can see what I'm talking about. So here, you can see this map. So let me show you where we are right now. So we are, where am I? Come on. Okay, so we are right here. This is Dragon Roost Island right here. So we're gonna have to take Link, and he's gonna have to go from here to here. This is where we're gonna go next. And so this is Fire Mountain, and so this is why you have to be really careful with this swim, because Fire Mountain, which I'm gonna show, let me show Fire Mountain. Fire Mountain is over there. If you see, that's Fire Mountain right there. There's a problem with Fire Mountain that I'm going to show on this swim. Let me just go ahead and just show you. If you hit Fire Mountain with a lot of speed, it kills your speed, like that. So that's one of the things you got to be careful of. Now, why is that? It's because Fire Mountain is a sploosh quadrant. So there are quadrants in the ocean where if you hit them with a lot of speed, the water has to unload while the quadrant is being loaded. And so if you have too much speed, you'll enter the quadrant as the water is unloading. And Link will fall, and then as the water is unloaded, he'll fall, and that kills his speed. When Link falls, for any amount of time, his speed goes bye-bye. And that we like to call splooshing. So what are all the sploosh quadrants? Let me go over them. So Dragon Roost is actually one of them. Fire Mountain is one of them as well. There's also Outset, which let me go down. So Outset is another one. Also, Forest Haven is another one, and Ice Ring, and then Forsaken Fortress. So those are all of the quadrants that you... Oh, and Windfall. That's the last one, sorry. And Windfall. Those are all the quadrants that you got to be careful. You also have to be careful of Greyfish, which is here. You got to be careful because for Greatfish, if you enter the quadrant, it doesn't sploosh you, but there's a cutscene to make it Endless Night. So you got to be very, very careful of that too. There is a map. I can't show it. I don't think I can show it on this. It's on the gamepad screen. I can just really just show it here. If you, you can press L to open it. So now you can actually see in live real time where your character is. So with that in mind, use this map and figure out where to go. So we're here and we need to get to here and we need to go to the right of Fire Mountain. So let me show you how to charge the swim and then we'll go ahead and get to it. So there are two places you can swim off of this island. The fastest place is right here. So what you want to do, because target shoots you to the left, and we want to gain speed and hit target. We want to aim out towards the water, kind of like towards this island right here. See that island right there? And we want to move to the left. So we want to hold left, pause, and then hold slightly right. And he'll gain a lot of speed. Now, how do you know how long to gain speed for? Unfortunately, there is no real good, surefire way. I'm sorry to tell you. You kind of got to get a feel for it. Because you can't see your speed in game, and you won't know your speed because when you're against the wall, Link, no matter how much speed he has, he looks the same. So this is me with like a little bit of speed. Let me get a lot of speed. And it looks exactly the same. I literally can't tell until I hit the water. And if you hit the water and you have way too much speed, often there's nothing you can do. If you have too little speed, you can just go back to the island and try it again. But if you have too much speed, this is what will happen. Like that. As you saw, I kind of just teleported all the way there in one frame. So way too much speed, way too much. So you kind of just got to get a feel for it. It depends on two things. One, how long you charge for. So if you charge for longer, you will every frame you gain 1.2 times your speed. So if you think about it, you can be you can be 1 second late and have enough speed to crash the game. Pretty much, it's that precise. And the other thing is that it depends on your analog stick angle. So you may notice if I hold a really bad stick angle, you saw kind of Link how fast he gained speed there. Now look how fast he gained speed here. Kind of see the difference? There he didn't even gain speed, like that. So depending on how close your stick angle is to the center will affect how quickly he gains speed. So it's those two factors, how long and how good your stick angle is. And so with those two in mind, you kind of get a good feel for it, but it's really about 2 seconds you got to charge. This is how long you have to charge. Like that. And then you should be good. So, and you may see what is my speed right now. 6,000's a pretty good speed. You want around between 3,000 and 10,000. So it's pretty lenient. You can even make it with 1 or 2,000. It depends on how far you have to go. So, and then, so after you have enough speed, you want to hit target. So I'm hitting target. And then I'm continuing holding right to turn Link. And then I can turn the camera, release the stick and turn the camera. And then I can I have to very slowly lower Link into the water in order to not lose my speed. Now, you don't have to lower it. It depends on the slope. Here you can kind of go into the water really quickly, but if you try to go too quickly, Link will fall into the water. Just keep that in mind. So that's what you want to do is lower him very slowly into the water. It has to be negative speed. That's why I never say charge positive speed, because this is what happens with positive speed. If your Link is like facing the wall, he just loses all of his speed. It has to be negative. So here's a place you can charge speed. There's another place in the back, which I find this kind of easier, because this is a more gradual slope, and you have so much area to work with. So this is, if you're having trouble with that, I recommend just going up against this boulder, charge a little bit of speed, and then hit target. Now you can clip here. It almost happened just then. You might have noticed it looked like Link was about to clip. Yeah, he almost did. Now what we want to do is slowly get Link into the water. Now, as soon as Link is in the water, you want to be holding slightly on the stick. That's because you want to look at how his speed decays. Like this. Now look at how his speed decays like this. You see the difference between this and this? That's because holding slightly on the stick makes his speed decay slower in the water. That matters a lot if you have low speed, so I just would recommend always doing it for your swims. So with that in mind, we're going to be holding slightly on the stick and just steering the camera. We're going to lower Link into the water slowly, and then we're going to very slowly move past this wall, because as you see, Fire Mountain is on my left. If I move past this wall too quickly, I'm hitting Fire Mountain instantly. So we want to, in this case, we can go around the right of Fire Mountain, and then we have to turn very, very sharply left. So that's why the back of the island is kind of weird to get to Thorn Ferry, because I had to go around, and I'll show you exactly where I went for this. So for this, I went from here, and then I went around this way. But let me show you. Let me show this again. If you go from the front, you can go around this way. So if you go from the front, you can go around this way, and it's a lot less awkward because you don't have to make such a big wide turn. So let me show that. It is kind of hard to hold ESS. There we go. Now we can go around the other side, and it's a lot better because you see it's a more direct path. So anyway, once we get close to the island, we want to start losing speed. So kind of just, if you flick back and forth, Link will lose a lot of speed. Once he has the correct amount of speed, you can go on the island, you can pull Wind Waker or roll to cancel your speed. Or you can kind of just fly off the island. But yeah, just know that it's very, very useful to be flicking back and forth to lose speed in the water, especially if you have way, way too much. Instantly start flicking back and forth. It's a very, very useful way to lose speed. So we have gotten to this point of the run where we are going to do our very, very first Fairy Island clip. This trick really sucks. I'm going to be honest. There's a more consistent way to do it off of this tree. Let's just show you what it looks like. You have to stay against the tree. I'm not going to teach beginners how to do it, but I want you to... there's other tutorials on this, but you can clip this way. You have to stay on the tree, and you do this very complex setup, and you can get into the fountain by clipping. Now, that's not the setup I'm going to show you, because it is, I think, harder for beginners, even though I think it's less consistent. And you can kind of just get out of the fountain by just rolling out like that. I don't recommend doing it that way. The way I recommend doing it is the other way, which was the original method found, where we go towards here, towards this pillar right here, and see how there's this like really, there's two, it kind of splits the island in half. That's where we're gonna go, right here. And there's a visual cue for where to start this item slide, but basically we're gonna item slide toward the top of the slope. And Link needs to have the correct speed when he hits the top of the slope to clip. So this is our very first clip of the run. This is a deliberate clip. So we're going to charge speed. And then see this Y right here? Need this to... Right here. See that Y right there? It looks like... kind of like a ninja star kind of thing. We want to aim the dot... So don't aim up at all with the grapple. As you may notice, if you try to hold lower than parallel, it won't let you. So make sure the grapple is parallel. And move forward until the ninja star, the dot is at the bottom of the ninja star. That's the visual cue I like to use. Then we have to hold a very, very good ESS, as in very close to neutral. And then we're gonna, you can pause us for this, aim towards the center, and if he has the right speed, he'll clip. In this case, he didn't, and I want to press A to cancel. Always automatically press A to cancel. Even, like, don't even wait to see if he clips or not. Just press A on reaction, as in, after Link hits the wall, you don't want to press it too early. If you press it too early, it can mess it up. Normally, that's frame perfect to mess that up. You want to go to the top and then press A, like that. And so, as you saw, he didn't clip. That means his speed was too low. So either A, your ESS was not good enough. ESS is in the stick angle you're holding. It either is not close enough to neutral, or you didn't start low enough. So you can either start lower, or just hold a better angle. The angle is very precise, so let's try again. Okay, so that was it. That's what we want. Let me try to show what happens if you have too much speed. So that is ideal. And then I'm going to show... not ideal. By the way, again, you can side up jump slash to get out of here. Like that. That's what I'm doing to get out. Oops. Okay. So, I'm going to show you what too much speed looks like. Okay, so that's too much speed. So as you may notice, I did clip, but I clipped too low because the higher speed you have, the lower you clip. So here we went under the loading zone and missed it. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get in the island because I do need to actually get something in the island. This is my preferred way of doing it. But yeah, as I mentioned, not gonna explain it in this tutorial. This is kind of advanced, but I like doing it this way. More consistent for me. So we're going to then, we can roll our item slide. It's slightly faster to item slide, but if you have trouble item sliding, just go ahead and roll. And we want to get this upgrade. So this is the quiver upgrade. So this is Thorn Fairy, so it's the quiver upgrade. And so the reason we have to get this upgrade is that later we're going to get the bow out of source. And that is a problem because it doesn't give you the quiver. So you won't be able to shoot arrows unless you got this upgrade. So that's why we're getting it. So here, I recommend safety saving. If you're gonna leave the fountain, you can either just leave. Just item slide out and leave. But if you do, I recommend safety saving. So you can save warp or you can just leave. Either way works. But I recommend safety saving because this next swim, if you fail it, is very, very bad. So I would always save here. Just always recommend saving here. We can get out. Here we go. So now we're gonna have to super swim off of this island. This is probably one of the hardest super swims in the run. There's two ways to do it. I'm gonna show you both ways to do it. One way is you go to this part of the pillar. The part that you go to matters. So it's to the right of this of the midline, as you see right here. Not this wall. This is the wrong wall. This wall right here. We're gonna turn it directly perpendicular, and then we're gonna have to charge an item slide up against it. And then we're gonna have to hold target, and then very carefully not fall off the pillar. And then we can steer Link off the pillar, and then, while holding target, and then we can release everything and just hold down. And then from here, we can swim off. So that's one way to do it. That's one way to do this swim. I'll show it again. Okay, so that's not enough speed, so I have to do it again. So it kind of matters what the water cycle is here. The water is not giving me a good cycle. This is a good cycle. You have to do it while the water's down. So wait until Link goes off. Actually, you can kind of hold like right here, and there we go. Now we're good. We can kind of get control of Link. All right, now let me show you the other way. The reason it's hard is that it's really hard to not slide off of this thing, and if you have too much speed and you slide off, you can go to Fire Mountain and sploosh. So it's kind of rough. So we can charge it here, which is wait, but look at that. I charged too early. Basically, you can just charge at the wall and then just wait for the water to get you. But the problem is you can't lock your speed. But yeah, and that was too little speed, so you kind of got to get a feel for when to go. So that was too early. That's too much speed, as you can tell. I am not going to go for that. Maybe now. That should be good. There we go. Okay, so where are we going? Let me show you where we're going for this and where we're coming from. So, all right, so we're at Thorn Fairy, right? And remember, as I mentioned, you can look on your gamepad screen to see your map. We want to go from here. We want to go all the way to Southern Fairy, right here. This is where we want to go. So from here to here. Now be very careful not to hit Ice Ring. Ice Ring is a sploose quadrant, so we want to go this way. We don't want to go too far left. You go too far left, you hit Ice Ring. Or you can hit Forest Haven, so very careful. Want to go to the Southern Fairy Island. Alright, so with all that in mind, let's go to Southern Fairy. So there it is. Look back and forth, and then you can roll to kill your speed, or pull Windmaker, or swipe bottle, or pull grapple. Lots of ways to kill your speed. And so this island is going to be similar to Thorn Fairy, except actually the visual cue for where to start your item slide is lower, for whatever reason. So you want to go, you want your dot to be well below the ninja star you see right here. You want it to be, there's kind of like a white oval, this like white, like brighter texture. You want to be below that brighter texture. This water won't work for this. I have to wait for the water. As you see, the water waves are going kind of in the wrong direction. You literally have to wait. You have to wait for the water. And the water kind of will change the grapple. If you're in the water, it'll mess up the red dot. There we go. So right here should be a good target. Okay, so that was not enough speed, so we have to go and try again. Oh, nice jump. There we go. This is a good water, so here. Do you see how the dot is kind of on the darker texture below the brighter texture, below the ninja star? This should be good. That was a really, really bad analog stick angle. That was way too far from the neutral dead zone. That time, we were not far enough away from the neutral dead zone, because we didn't get an item slide. Okay. Okay, so I canceled it because that was too little speed. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to get the bomb bag upgrade. So, this is very similar idea to the quiver upgrade in that we are going to get the bomb item out of source. And so because it's out of source, it won't give us the bomb bag. So we won't be able to carry any bombs unless we get this. So make sure to not forget these two parts of the run, or else you literally cannot beat the game. Okay, so here we have something blocking us when we leave. If I tried to just leave normally, oops. If I try to just leave normally, there's this big fence in my way, and I can't get past it. So we have to save and quit. And this is at the point of the run where I like to switch to Pro Controller. Make sure you're on Pro Controller for this part. Or you can switch later if you're not comfortable with Pro Controller, but just know that this is the fastest thing to do at this point because we are going to be doing pause storage. Alrighty, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be island hopping off of Southern Fairy Island to Forest Haven. The reason is that, if you may notice, there's no place we can super swim off. There's no wall that any of these slopes are up against, so we cannot super swim off of this island. So the only option is to island hop. Now, island hopping is traveling an entire distance across the ocean, usually a large distance, in one frame. So when you go off of an edge, you keep your speed for one frame. And so we need a lot of speed to travel that entire distance in one frame. So we're going to be charging up against this tree with a certain angle. So we're going to be setting up an angle. And so if that angle is correct, then our speed we clip at will be correct and we will go to the correct position. So the angle you want to look at is you want to see this island right here? This is stone. This is headstone. We want to have the dot about a dot's distance from headstone, so like right here. Now, I want to make sure gyro aiming is off, so I have it on, so I'm going to turn it off. That way, if I shake the controller, it doesn't move the dot, because I do not want this dot to move at all. So, we're going to go up against the tree, and so I'm going to slash this, because that's kind of in the way. So, what I want to show is that if I'm up against the tree, you can kind of see this grass patch right here. I'm looking at this one right here. I can tell where I am on this tree by looking at this patch right here. We want the right edge of the patch to be at the edge of the screen. I want to keep it there so when I'm item sliding, and I'm going to be doing kind of like, it's not a direct left item slide, it's just a little bit down of directly left. If that makes any sense? Like I'm going to be going a little bit down of left. So when I'm holding, when I'm item sliding, I'm holding kind of a little bit like upright ESS. So I'm holding kind of 30 degrees up from directly right. And so as you see, the grass kind of got a little bit away from the screen. So I want to move a little bit back. Actually, I'm not item sliding. Let's actually item slide. There we go. Okay, so I slid off the edge of the tree. So if you slide off, you want to cancel. So there I slid off from the bottom, and you kind of saw it with the grass patch. So okay, now okay. So here you correct. So basically, pause buffering allows you to correct your ESS. So if you start sliding off to the bottom, you're holding too far up. If you start sliding off to the like this, you're holding too far down. So now I gotta start holding more. There we go. Now we're kind of just moving in place. Now we're moving down. There we go. And so eventually he'll clip. And so eventually he will clip like this. And so if you land here, so sometimes you just spawn in the cutscene, but if you land not in the cutscene, you can always swim towards the island on the left. And you will always be able to make it. You should always be able to, as long as you clipped. But if you cannot make it, you have to, so there, I just made it. That's kind of the farthest away you'll ever clip. Usually you'll clip, into the cutscene. It's like very common to just clip directly into the cutscene. But let's say you slide off the tree. So you'll kind of notice a camera change when you clip. It looks a little different. You'll see the camera very, very slowly pan towards Link. But if you slide off, you'll see Link fall. And the camera will not pan. It'll instantly snap towards Link, and you'll be not close enough to the island to swim to it. If that happens, quit without saving. So, but if you end up with the cutscene, you're at Forest Haven, and you're good to continue. So we're going to watch this cutscene, and we're going to go enter Forest Haven. So now we're here, and we're going to head up Forest Haven. So we're going to climb up here, and you can jump off the side to climb up here. And then we're going to climb up here. And then now I want to show off the fastest way to do this clip. So the fastest way is to go up to this wall right here. And we need to item slide at the wall, and then start holding up to convert our speed to positive. And that will clip us down to the water right here. So that's one way to do it. There's another way you can do it, which I also recommend if you're struggling with that way. The other way I recommend is you can go here against this wall, and then you can turn around, and then item slide down by holding up ESS, and then start holding down to convert your speed to positive. And either way will clip you. Now, we're going to be navigating to the top of the waterfall, but there's all this water to the left. If I at any point go too far left, I will pop up like this. That's because whenever there's water over Link's head, Link will always pop to the highest water level. But what we're going to be doing is going right enough that we stay away from the water that's above us. So let's say you don't have a Pro Controller. This next trick, you cannot skip this cutscene. So instead, what you're going to do is if you don't have a Pro Controller, you're going to go into this loading zone right here to Forest Haven, and we're going to go ahead and watch this cutscene. And so then we're going to, because we cannot skip the Dick Your Tree cutscene, we're going to go ahead and go watch it. So we're going to item slide to this waterfall right here, and then we're going to climb it, and then jump off to the left here like this to climb. And then we're going to item slide around to the tree. We're going to watch this cutscene of the chews spawning. And then, in order to cure the Dick Your Tree of his unfortunate acne, we're going to first kick him. So we're going to bonk this stump right here. So right here, this is the closest place to bonk. And then we're going to slash the chews and do a bunch of spin attacks. So these reds take 1 hit, but the greens take 2. So you can spin attack. Be careful not to pick up any spoils. And so then we're going to go ahead and watch this cutscene. And so when the cutscene is over, you're going to respawn where you can get the leaf. And so if you do not have a Pro Controller, go ahead and skip the entire next section where I explain how to skip this cutscene. So see that loading zone? You can see it. You guys saw it right there. We're going to go towards that loading zone. But you may see this right here. You see this texture. We are just before the loading zone. If you aim towards this island, kind of like to the right of the island, you will be able to go inbounds like this without hitting the loading zone. But if it's fine. If you accidentally trigger the loading zone, like it's okay. You can just go in and then go out. But we will need to be doing pause storage on this loading zone. So this pause storage setup is very, very similar to get pause storage to the way that we got it on Beetle. The difference is that we can't roll, but we can side hop, and the side hop timing is the same timing as the loading the option menu coming out. So what I'm going to do is let me just show you what it looks like, and then I'll explain it. So that's what it should look like. Now let me explain what I did with my hands. This guy is really annoying. If you get too far away, he spawns, but if you're close enough, he doesn't spawn. So we can be like right here and he doesn't spawn. We're also target him. I'm gonna hold target with my pointer, my left pointer. Then my left middle finger is gonna press option, like this. Press the option button. Then my left thumb is going to hold on the. It's going to move the analog stick so that I, side hop. And then I'm going to press, with my pointer, I'm going to press home, and then I press A with my thumb. It has to be frame perfect, as before. Oh, and make sure you release the option button. Like that. And then scroll to the top of the menu. So, here we're going to be performing some blind movement. So let me show you what all the blind movement looks like, and then I'm going to reload the map and show it with pause storage. So here's what I recommend for this movement. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hold directly just up of directly right, just north of east. And then we're going to press target. So that's going to center the camera behind Link. Then we can hold up left and roll 3 more times. And he'll climb the waterfall. Then we can pull sword and roll 7 times while it's still holding up left. And if he doesn't climb here, so there, if he hadn't climbed, I can just hold directly up and he'll still climb. And I do want to mention one very, very important thing here before we move on to the next part. If I'm in the option menu and I just press B, it'll leave the option menu, which cancels pause storage normally. However, if I'm scrolling, if I'm in the process of scrolling, and I press B, pressing B, 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 nothing's happening, I'm not leaving the menu. That's why we need to make sure we don't release up left before pressing B here, so that we don't leave the menu. So anyway, that's in order for that sword press. And that's going to be true later when we press B to kill the chews. We're going to have to do something, because or else our B press will just leave the menu. So, after we climb here, we're going to side up once to the left. We're going to jump slash twice. And then we're going to side hop 3 times. In the middle of one of these side hops, you need to pull grapple midair. Like this. 2, 3. And that will trigger the loading zone. That trigger the cutscene. So, after this cutscene, we're going to hold target and we're going to press A to roll. And that will always bonk the stump. And then, I want to mention, the way to kill these shoes consistently is there's a consistent way to do it. So let me just show you how to do it. So I'm going to start holding down on the D-pad. It's going to be very important. I'm going to move a little bit to the right, and then I'm going to wait for them to attack Link. So you may have noticed I'm holding D-pad down. Why am I holding D-pad down? Because I will leave the option menu if I am not holding D-pad down. Or up. You can hold up or down. It doesn't matter. Whichever one you want to do. That will make it so your B press does not cancel the option menu. So anyway, for killing the chews, we're going to be charging spin attacks. That's what we found to be the easiest thing to do. You're going to wait for the reds to attack you. Like this. And then you're going to slash your sword. And then hold a spin attack. Wait for them to attack again and release. And then just keep charging and releasing. And sometimes you can pick up these jellies by accident. But yeah, you just keep charging spin attacks. And then releasing. And so, yeah, that would normally be the last guy. So, let me show you this all one more time, and then I'll show you with pause storage. So here is it, but faster. Okay, so now you may notice I'm holding D-pad down. You don't have to hold it now. It just make sure that when you start holding D-pad down or up, make sure you have held it for 1 second before you press B. Just make sure. Okay, so basically, that's the gist of it. Oh, there's one more. Anyway, you wait until you get a fade out. So let me show you this, but with pause storage now. I'm going to show you the whole thing. And then we'll move on. Oh, and this cutscene skip saves about 50 seconds. So just an FYI if you're struggling with it. So here's the whole thing. Okay, so now I can start holding D-pad down. Make sure I don't release it. And as you saw earlier, I was bonking the stump. That happens if you don't move right for long enough. Okay, so that's really the optimal way that it can happen, really, is one spin attack. It's kind of rare, but got it in one spin attack. But yeah, just wait until you get the fade out. If you take too long, the chews will go back up on the tree and it's kind of rip. So anyway, now from the very bottom, you scroll up 3 times, or if you're at the very top, you scroll down 4 times. So I'm at the bottom, so I scroll up 3 times. Press A, switch controllers, and then I'm going to save and quit on the gamepad screen. And that is the second pause storage of the run. So, now we need to go back in and get the leaf, and we're good. So I'm going to go back in. And we can clip back into the waterfall again. There we go. aim. This time we can just go directly in the loading zone. So you can aim a lot further right this time. Like that. And then now we can item slide to the waterfall and slash our sword, and we can jump slash up. Or you can just climb. And then you can roll off to the side here to grab this ledge. It's a lot faster. And then we want to item slide to this bulb, get in, and we're going to take all the bulbs up to the top. Now, if you have trouble aiming here, just aim at the stems. The stems are always the best place to aim for these. If you're having trouble, just line up with the stem. And then here we want to grapple here. And release, and aim at all the stems. Now, you can skip the last bulb. I guess I would go ahead and show how to do it. It's really not that hard. If you know what you're doing, that is. So, for this, we can skip this last bulb. The way you do it is, there's this line on the wall. You may see it. If you look at the B button, if you pay attention to the B button, I have the correct angle right now. And let me show you exactly what I'm looking at. So, if you see this line right here, see this vertical line, I want to aim the left edge of the B button. I want the left edge of the B button to be anywhere on the line. If the left edge of the B button is so this won't work. This is too far right. If I'm here, I am this is too far left right here. Because you see the left edge of the B button is no longer on the line. And then this is directly in the middle of where you want. Not there. That still works. It still works. This is the perfect angle right here. But any of those angles will always work. But you can have a bad angle and it can still work. Why? Because that leaf, the collision of the leaf is swinging back and forth. So it's on a timer. It's on a cycle. And so if the cycle has the platform closer to you, it'll be more lenient and it'll work with a bad angle. So I'm actually going to get a bad angle, and I can show you it will sometimes work. Like this might work. Who knows? Okay, well, it didn't work. Well, sometimes it works. I just wanted to mention it. It sometimes works. But yeah, like there you saw it was a bad angle. But I could have done that, and it could have worked the next time. Who knows? Where are we going? Okay, all right. So let's say we're here. We can get the leaf. And we want to save and quit. So anyway, if you're not comfortable with that, you can just take that last bulb to the top. Oh, fun fact, this is quick text right here. Hold B, mash A. That right there. Then we can save and quit. And now comes the crazy part of the run. So we have gotten everything we need before entering Hyrule. So now we need to go to Hyrule and go beat the game. So I'm playing on Pro Controller because we have another pause storage thing coming up. This is the hardest swim in the entire run. I will warn you. This right here, hardest swim in the entire run. I do have a method that I think works really well for beginners. So I'm just going to stick to one method for this because I don't want to confuse you. But there's a lot of ways to do this swim. So this is the beetle swim. So this barrel right here can form a slope into the water. It doesn't naturally. You have to move him a little bit first. Because if you notice, if I just move down, I'll fall like that. And that loses all my speed. So at the very start, you need to move him by moving anywhere in this direction. So kind of go towards the mailbox, wait, and then go. So that moved him correct. You want the edge of his barrel, the edge right here, to be kind of lined up with this corner. So you see, he's a little further than he needs to be, but it'll still work. It's kind of lenient. If he's too far, you need to go in the loading zone and then go back out and then reposition him. That is the fastest way to reload him. So go here and then go back. And yeah, this is they're pretty lined up. It's pretty lined up. So what do I recommend to do for this swim? I recommend to turn to your right. Also, if I stay on the boat for too long, he'll move. So what I recommend is aim kind of out toward this island. See that? That's Bomb Island right there. So what we want to do is we want to charge speed to the left and get enough speed, then release the stick, then tap target, and then press nothing, and Link will naturally go into the water if your angle is correct. Like that. So that is how I recommend to do the swim. Any other way I don't recommend. But yeah, just know that if your angle is too far left, Link will go into the water too quickly. Actually, that angle is probably a little more left than you need. If you're too far right, he won't even go into the water. He'll either just stay against the wall or he'll go up the barrel. But it's really difficult to stay along the barrel it's difficult to stay on the barrel for long enough, but keep that angle, press target, press nothing on the stick. Don't press anything. So release the stick and then press target. And then that will make him slowly go into the water, and then you should be good. So then the next part is we're going to sit in this corner, wait for the boat to move past there, and then we're going to slowly move this way. And then after I pass this corner, we're going to zoom. Now let me show you where we're going from and where we're going to. So we're at Forest Haven right now. We're right here. So we had island hops from here to here. We are right here. We need to go from here all the way to here. Forsaken Fortress, the top left. So things to avoid. There's really two major things I want to let you know well, a few things. One, if you turn too far to the left, you'll hit Ice Ring. So when I zoom past this corner, I want to be moving kind of upright. I don't want to be moving too far left. That's for one thing. You could hit Ice Ring as soon as you leave. Also, if you have way too much speed, you will sploosh as soon as you leave the quadrant. If you have like 15, 20,000 speed, you will sploosh instantly after leaving the quadrant. It's just because of too much speed. So that's one thing. There's a submarine right here, right in the 6-eye reef quadrant, just at the very, very far, like kind of like right here. There's a submarine. So that's why I always kind of go to the right of that and go kind of towards Windfall. That's what I recommend, but it's kind of hard to avoid the submarine. It can pop up out of nowhere and kill your swim. So that's one other thing to avoid. The last thing is obviously Windfall. So you want to go to the left of Windfall. So if you see Windfall, you want to be very, very careful to not hit it. You want to go to it because Windfall will also sploosh you. But those are the main things. Also, Grayfish. See Grayfish here. So you want to go between Grayfish and Windfall, because Grayfish, you just trigger the cutscene. So you have to go through, you have to basically go through Tingle Island every time. Because this is bad, and this is bad. So you gotta go dead through the middle. And the other thing I want to mention, which I'll show in a second, Forsaken Fortress is a sploosh quadrant. So this is the first super swim we've done well, actually, this is the last super swim in the run. Forsaken Fortress, if you approach it too quickly, will kill all of your speed. So I will show it. There's one other place that I want to show you that you can go if you have too low speed. And that is Bomb Island. And that's 1 north. So this island right here that I'm pointing at, you can go there instead if you have too low speed. And just make a pit stop. So here I have way too low. So we can just make a pit stop and just go kind of like right here. And this is the swim spot right here. You don't want to enter the water too quickly here. You want to be really careful. But you can charge speed against this wall. And then very slowly enter the water, and now we can go. So that's another place you can go. You can also just save warp on the island. So if you're worried about failing the swim, and you really don't want to retry Beetle Swim, you can just save warp on that island. You can save warp on Windfall. Save warp on any island, but don't save warp on Forest Haven, right? Because then you'll just go back to Forest Haven. So that's an option to just save on that island. Now, you want to be very careful to enter this quadrant slowly, and also it helps to enter from the right side. So if you enter from here, it won't load as quickly. It loads quicker if you enter from the right. So that's another thing to mention. So where do we go from here? So if you see the door right here, see this door? We want to go towards the right of the door, for one. And we want to go towards this rock. And behind the rock is this corner that you can go to right here. And so this corner is what we want to go to, because this is the only place on the entire island that you can stand without drowning, pretty much. I mean, there are other places you can get air refills. Like, let me see. There's an air refill there. Okay. Like, if you end up being way around this island, like, there are some places you can stand up, as it turns out. Just letting you know. The run's not over if you miss. There are a couple places you can stand. Let me see. I think this one is one of them. No, that's not one of them. Oh, here. This is a place you can stand. There we go. So you can just stand up here, and then you can clip in from here, as it turns out. Well, as long as you don't miss. But yeah, missing that spot where you can stand up is really bad. So just make sure you find this rock, and then you go to the corner by the rock. So it takes some getting used to, but basically, yeah, if you're approaching from the southeast side, it really is from the south side. So you can pull up your map and find, I guess it's really the, I think it's reverse on the map. On the map, it's actually the furthest up left part of the map. So I think the map is kind of inverted, but yeah, I just pull up my map on the screen to see where I'm going to. So anyway, we can clip in from here. We want to aim towards this wall on the right and charge an item slide, maybe more a little bit to the left of the wall like this, and just charge item slide straight. You want to charge too far to the left because you can hit the Phantom Ganon trigger, so don't do that. And then we can climb up here, and this is where we're going to start the Forsaken Fortress movement section. Now, make sure you have Leaf equipped. Don't forget to equip Leaf. So, we're going to go up these stairs, then we want to go to right here. And we want to turn to the right of this wall, and charge an item slide, a left to right item slide against this wall. Get quite a bit of speed here. You do not want to have too low speed here. And then you can press target, and then move link. And we can just get him right through the spikes really, really easily. So getting past those spikes are very easy if you do it this way. And then we're going to move Link all the way up the stairs like here, and then we're going to pull Grapple again. That's the optimal movement for item sliding. You can also roll, but if you want to roll, go run Windmaker on the GameCube, is what I say. So item sliding is faster, so I'm going to teach you the item sliding movement. So from here, I want to mention, you will clip on this slope if you have negative speed, like this. And then you go all the way down here and you have to retry. So you want to get positive speed on that slope. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me show this movement one more time. So we're going to go past these spikes, up here, and then we're going to pull Grapple. And then here, what you want to do is you want to charge an item slide, then start holding up. And then, well, you want to be careful not to move too far right. But if you do that, you can go all the way up here and then cancel when you reach the top right here. Let me show that one more time. We'll go from here, and then press up, and then cancel, right here. Now we're in this corner, now we can turn to the right, and now we can do a backwards item slide against this corner, and we will do the very first sword slash. So, when you have sword, you can slash your sword in a direction, and that will make all of Link's momentum go in that direction in one frame, which is really, really useful to reach this ledge. So, if we hit target, if we do a targeted slash, we will lock Link's angle to go to the ledge. Also, when you do these item slides, just make sure you're out from the wall enough, because if you're up against a wall, it's harder to item slide against it. So make sure you're away from walls before you start item sliding. There you go, like that. Well, if I'm up against the wall, it's really hard to get an item slide. I did just get one, but it requires a tighter analog stick angle because your speed is lower when you're against the wall. But anyway, we're going to charge this corner. We're going to aim the dot, and we're going to hold up. We're going to hold target, and then while we're holding target, we're going to press B. Like that. Now, I do want to mention, if you aim too far to the right, you will end up in a really bad spot. Let me show you where you'll end up. And I will show you the backup for it. The backup is not easy, but there is a backup, so you should know about backups. So let me go to that corner and get the wrong angle. So we go to this corner. If we have too far to the right, like this, hold target, press B. We end up here. And you're like, oh no, what do I do? Well, for one, just want to let you know that if you fall down, let me store my position here. Just gonna restore. Cool. Okay, so if we end up falling here, it's actually not the end of the world, because look, we are right back at the clipping spot. We can just clip right back in. So that's not the end of the world, but let me show you what a backup is. It's kind of hard, but we want to get an item slide right here, right? And you want to go on like the farthest, basically you don't have to go that far out, but you want to go pretty much as far on this side of the wall. Like this wall has a slope. And so you want to be as far, I don't know, on this side of the wall as possible. And then you want to aim towards the slope. Then really you want to aim towards kind of like the a little bit towards the right side because it's higher on, it's lower on the right than on the left. So you want to aim kind of here and press target. And now you want to item slide towards the wall. And then when you get in good position, you want to slash and then pause. And then once he has started slashing, you want to hold up. And he'll jump. This is actually recently found. I recently found like this setup. So I do recommend that. It does require pause buffering, but yeah, after he has started the slash, you can pause and then start holding up. And then he'll jump and you'll get here. So that is the backup for that. Or you can just jump down and then clip back in, or just, I don't know, whichever works. If you miss, you can also clip back in. So just know that there's a bunch of backups. But anyway, from here, what we want to do is we want to go up the slope. Now, I do want to mention, the easiest way to do this is to have negative speed and then press target. And then control link with negative speed controls and go like this. Right? That is the easiest way, but I want to mention that there's a 1 in like 50, 60, 70 chance that you clip on this slope. But if you're cool with randomly clipping, just know that this is the easiest way to do it. Is to item slide here, press target with negative speed, and then slowly move link past here. Be very, very careful on this corner. You want to very, very, very slowly move up at this part. Because right here, let me store my position, because I'm going to deliberately, hold on. I'm gonna deliberately trigger this. We go right here. This is really bad because there's a mini blend trigger here. So you can see, now there's mini blends. So, and you have to go inside to get rid of them. Okay. Oh yeah, stop screaming, Link. Anyway, so yeah, if you trigger the mini blends, the best place to go inside is you have to go all the way down here. You can go, well, you can't go in that door because there's Phantom Ganon in there. Remember, there's a Phantom Ganon trigger there, so you have to be very, very careful. So can't go in that door. So this door is no good. So you can't go in here. You'll trigger Phantom Ganon. So, and it's also locked. So and also if you trigger the mini blends or Phantom Ganon, I'll show you what you do. So you have to go through the spikes again, and then you have to go all the way up, go into this alley, and then you can just open the door. And then you have to leave again, and then the mini blends will be gone, and Phantom Ganon will be gone. You can also save in here. I want to mention that as well. You can save and quit here, inside. If you save and quit, and then go back to the title screen, you will always go back on, you will always spawn on Forsaken Fortress. So let's say you accidentally flew off the island, you had safety saved inside, and it'll always spawn you on Forsaken Fortress. If you are not inside and you safety save, it won't spawn you here. It'll spawn you somewhere else. It just not here. So anyway, let's go back to where we were now. So let's say we're here, and let's say we have gone all the way over here. So the next thing we want to do is we want to go all the way up this slope right here. And see this wall right here? It starts right here. And it ends right here. We need to item slide on the wall at any of these points. This is too far back. This is too far forward. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a left to right item slide on this wall. We're going to be aiming at this slope right here. This wall. You can actually stand on that wall. Now if you aim too far left, this is what will happen when you do the sword slash. Well, that can happen. That's if you have too low speed, actually. Well, it's also if you have wrong angle, but you can fall off the wall. But what I want to mention is that you want to aim just to the right of this line. Right there. That will give you a really, really good slash. Other things to keep in mind when you're doing this slash, hold right. So the other slash, I told you to hold left, right? Correct? To hold down. I told you to hold, no, not down, up. Yes, I told you to hold up on the previous sword slash. This one you want to hold full right on the stick. That way you get to jump. And then you want to hold target and then press B. And that will make him jump. So, yeah, make sure you aim to the right of this line. That line, this line right here, aim to the right of it. You should get up here. The reason I say to not be too low is that you don't have enough height to make it. If you're too low, right here, you won't have enough height. You won't make it. If you're too high, this is what can happen. And this is a way to kill a run. That is really, really, really bad. So, too far right, too far left, bad. And too high and too low, bad. So, oops. Okay. So, assuming you did it all correctly, you'll end up on the wall. Which I will show. Once again, hold full right, target, slash. Actually, you saw I was kind of aiming at the line there. It really is kind of lenient, but you want to make sure Link gets that jump. So now I want to show that there's an invisible wall here. There's several invisible walls. I can't go too far up here. And I just kind of pop past an invisible wall right here. You saw, now I'm hitting an invisible wall, but it's one-way collision. So you want to be towards the left of this wall. So you want to find the wall and find this wall and go right in the corner here. See, now I'm in this corner. This is good. This is the position we want to be in. And you want to move a little bit out from the corner first because it's easier to item slide if you're out from the corner. And the next item slide we're going to do is we're going to aim to the far right part of this wall. And we're going to do a slash. So we're going to hold target and then press B. And then we're going to pull leaf and leaf all the way around at the apex of our jump. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to hold up and hold target. And then we're going to press B. And then at the top of our jump, we're going to press leaf. And then we're going to leaf all the way around to this ledge right here. And there we go. Now we're here. So that just avoided the Phantom Ganon trigger. So let me just show you why we did that. There's a Phantom Ganon trigger all the way out there. So that's what we avoided by doing that entire movement right there. So once you're here, you're good, and we can do the next part of Forsaken Fortress. So here, the way I recommend doing this movement is to turn around and do an item slide all the way around to here, and then cancel. That's the fast way to do it, or you can just roll. So the next trick is door clip. This is probably one of the hardest tricks in the run, and there's a lot to it, so bear with me. I'm going to cover everything and every way the trick can fail so that you're not surprised by how it's failing. So this trick is required to clip into this door because we don't have the skull hammer required to clip into this, to open the door. So instead we have to clip into it. So here's what it looks like, and then I'll explain the setup. Let me try that one more time. One more time. There we go. Took me 2 tries, but yeah, it is one of the harder tricks, but it is consistent if you know what you're doing, and I will explain everything. So now we're clipped into the door, and we bypassed opening it. So for this trick, it's pretty complex. The first part is setting up an angle. This is pretty easy. So you want to hold down on the stick to have Link's, the dot bob up and down. You want to be in this corner right here. And you want to aim the right side of the dot with the left side of this white splotch right here. So you see this white splotch right here? So you want the dot to be kind of like this, right? You see this splotch? Looks kind of like a wrench. I think it looks like a wrench. So you want it to be like, this is, if the full circle was the dot, it'd be like this. So I'll show that, like this. All right, so now we have this done. Now we're going to hold target so that Link is twirling his grapple. So you do it out of first person. You have to be in first person when you start holding target. And then we're going to side up left. And then let go of target midair so that Link will automatically pull the grapple again when he hits the ground. Now, whenever I item slide until I leave first person again, when I item slide and press target, if I have positive speed, I will go to the left, which is important because this is going to be a positive speed item slide. We're going to item slide forwards by holding forward and then slightly down. And then at the lowest speed possible, we're going to start holding up. Now, if you hold up too early, you lose all your speed. So that will happen, but you want to do it very, very early. So after we start holding up, we want to shift to a little bit left of up like this. And now we'll see we start weird shotting. The dot is now moving up and it will disappear off the top of the screen. And then the background will flash into view. It doesn't always do this, but it usually does. And then the dot will start coming down from the bottom of the screen to the top. And when the dot reaches the middle of the screen, that means you have the correct amount of speed. And that's when you're going to start holding target. Now, I'm going to get more speed because I want to show off how the next part works. Because I want to have more speed than I need. So now I want to show off Link's running animation. So you see this versus this are different running animations. This I like to call the scooting left. This is the running forwards. This is important because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting up Link's speed angle, which is the direction that Link is moving in, which depends on our analog stick angle relative to the camera angle. And this is a pretty precise setup. What we want to do is we want to get Link in the scooting animation and then very slowly move the camera right until he starts running forwards. And it's kind of precise. You want to get it just right and then wait until Link loses his speed. I also kind of messed up my analog stick angle, so there we go. Now, I'm using these very small, slight adjustments on the C-stick. I'm kind of tapping down. I'm doing kind of like down right, down left. When he reaches 2,400 units of speed, I'll clip. So, and there we go. Now, that's what you want to see. There's two ways that this can go wrong. Well, actually, there's a lot of ways that can go wrong, but let me go over all of the ways they can go wrong. So starting off in order of we're going to go in order of from the beginning to the end of the trick. So let's say you charge speed and you don't see a weird shot. What that means is you started holding up too late. So, and if you go too long, you can actually go to the very, very bottom of the map. Let me store my position here. All right. So if I hold up for long, if I just item slide for long enough and I have positive speed, I hit up, I will clip. Well, actually, I've never seen that before. Usually that's not where he clips. Let me do this. I've actually never seen that in my life. This is where he usually clips. I've never seen that. But anyway, this is where you'll see it. That was like a 1 in 1,000 thing that I just got right there. He'll clip all the way to the bottom. So that's why if you don't get it. That's why you gotta start holding up really early, like now, and you'll get a weird shot. But before I waited too long, and then I didn't get a weird shot, and then he clips all the way to the bottom because that happens at high enough speed. So don't get too much speed, for one. And if you don't see a weird shot, cancel immediately. All right, so that's one way it can fail. Here's another way that it can fail. You can start holding up, right? Well, let's say you start holding up, and you see this. Well, actually, no, that's something different. Let me try to get it to work. Wait, I'm trying to get it to fail. There we go, like that. You can see that happen. Let's say you shoot to the right. As soon as you start holding up, he shoots to the right. Like that. What that means is that you failed the positive conversion. Instead of holding directly opposite directions, you need to hold up, down, and then up. You want to hold up, left, down, left. Or you don't want to hold up, down, and then up, right. Or up, left. That's how that fails. Because if I hold up left... Okay, I don't know how that works. Link will go to the right like that. So basically make sure that your angles are opposite. So you're going to hold up and then down ESS. Then you're going to hold up and then shift from up to up left. So that's how you prevent that from happening. You could also shoot to the... If you shoot to the right after targeting, then that's because you didn't do the slide up. If you shoot to... Yeah. Okay. So... the other thing that can happen is you can have wrong speed. So let me, by wrong speed, I mean, here's how you can tell your speed is too low. You'll either clip early. You'll either clip really, really, really early. Or, let me show you what can happen. You'll start dipping like this. That always happens if you have too low speed. So if you see that dip, the weird shot happens at below clipping speed. So if you weird shot, you'll never clip. You need to just cancel it and restart. You can also get too much speed. Let me explain what causes too little and too much speed. From my experience, besides just getting the wrong visual cue, besides just not, let's say if you target now, you'll have too low speed, obviously, because I didn't see the dot hit the center. So, and you could early pause, and then you have too much speed. So let's say you early pause, as in your pause was too early, and this happens. Now I have way too much speed. I have way too much. Because you see, it only takes a few frames to have way too much. But the other thing that could be wrong is that your up left angle could be wrong. So if you hold too far left when you're weird shotting, you'll get too little speed. If you hold too far right when you're weird shotting, you'll get too much speed. The other thing that can go wrong is that you might have just heard the cannon going off. If the cannon goes off while you're item sliding, cancel the item slide and start again. Because the cannon going off shakes the dot and messes up your visual cue. So those are all the things that can go wrong with speed. So here's I think you can tell you're too far to the right. Let me try to get it. So you might have just seen there, when I weird shot, the background stayed in view for a really long time. Okay, well, the cannon's going off, so it won't... kind of messing me up. There we go. So now I have way too much speed, because my up angle is too far to the right. If it's too far left, I have too low speed, as you can see. So those are the ways that speed can fail. And then the last thing is hopping in place or going to the stairs. Those are exact opposite. Those are mostly opposites of each other. One way that I know that causes hopping in place every time is if your dot is too far left. Now, the more left it is, the more likely it is to happen. So if you're just slightly too far left, it's not that likely. If you're way too far left, it's going to happen every time. Like, literally every time. Keep forgetting to do the side hop. So he will hop in place every time. Like that. That always happens if your dot is too far left. I mean, too far left as in, will always, that can be one way that causes it. But there's another way that can cause it, but it doesn't always cause it as well. And that is if your running animation was wrong. Keep forgetting to side hop. Your running animation's like this. He can do that, where he just clips in place. That's because of the way his losing speed works. So make sure that he's not running sideways, but he's running forwards when he's clipping like this. So not sideways, but forwards. Very important. And then, so that's how you can clip in place or hop in place. The last thing that can happen is he hits the stairs. And I think this is probably the most common way for it to fail. Well, at a top level at least. And that basically just means that you were too far right with your speed angle. What that means is that when you're nudging the camera, I'll show it. Okay, the cannon went off, so we have to do that again. I keep forgetting to side hop. I don't know why I'm forgetting. Okay, the cannon went off, so we gotta try it again. Okay. There we go. So, if you're too far right, like this. There we go. I went to the steps. That's because I wasn't very careful with making sure that it was just barely right when Link enters this running animation. So, Link moved too far right, and the reason you hit the stairs is that you're trying to aim for this small door underneath the loading zone that you might be able to see. You might have just seen it just there. There's this small door that you're trying to hit. I'm trying to hit this door. Anyway, you might have seen it a few times, but that door is what you're trying to hit. And so if you're running angle, if you're running too far to the right, you're going to miss the little collision and you're going to go straight to the stairs. So anyway, that's all the ways to fail, that door clip can fail. I want to mention what I think, in my opinion, one of the hardest things for this trick is making it so that when Link is moving, you want it, getting it so that you can just barely nudge that camera. So a few tips I have to make sure that you are that you have the exact correct camera angle. For one, what I recommend is very lightly tapping down right or down left. Let me show you this. So what I mean is just doing these little taps like this. So you can get these very small taps. And then, and so by tapping a little bit down right, a little bit down left, that tends to help me. Another thing that can help, so if that is not helping you get this very precise camera angle, and you find yourself often going to the stairs, which means you're too far right. If you keep finding yourself going to the stairs, there is one little change you can make. It will make the trick less consistent. Basically this dot, you can aim it more to the left. And so here is probably the furthest left I would ever recommend aiming it. Don't aim it more left. So this is right here. So as you see, kind of like this white smudge here and this white smudge, it's like dead in the middle of the two. Don't aim any more left than this, because basically the reason this makes it less consistent is that you have a chance of clipping in place even if Link is running in the running forwards animation like this instead of scooting to the side. You can still clip in place, but it does make it more lenient for that camera angle. But yeah, it does make it less consistent. But you can try that instead if you keep ending up at the stairs. So the next part of the trick, if you do not have a Pro Controller right here, you cannot skip this cutscene. So if you do not have a Pro Controller, you can just go ahead and go into the loading zone, and you'll have to watch this really, really long cutscene of saving Errol. So this is what you're going to go do. You'll just spawn in the Helmrock fight. So if you do not have a Pro Controller, go ahead and skip that entire next part where I explain how to use pause storage to skip this cutscene. And we'll pick up after the Helmrock fight. So for the next part of the trick is the pause storage. So we can skip this cutscene with pause storage. So make sure you're in Pro Controller mode. Alright, and then we want to very, very carefully navigate to this wall over here. So you want to get to right over here and make sure to not pop back in bounds. I like to go into first person here to help navigate. We want to aim for here. And so aim like this way. And when we hit target, we want to target the wall. Now, some positions don't target the wall. I just hit one. That one did target the wall. But some of the positions do not. So if you're in a position where you press target and it doesn't work, just move positions and try it again. I want to see that one worked. That one worked. Yeah, just leave first person and target. So this one didn't. This one does not target the wall. Okay, actually it did. Oh, here we go. There we go. So you can tell that he targets the wall because the camera changes. So once we've targeted the wall, we want to side up once to the right. And then I'm going to show. These are going to be fully neutral, untargeted slashes. We're going to do 5 and hold B on the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the option button and press home. And then release everything and press home again. And that will pull pause storage. So then we can instantly switch controllers. And then I'm going to navigate to save. And then save warp on the gamepad screen, and there we go. We have skipped the cutscene. So, we're gonna load up the file again, and we're gonna go fight Helmrock. We're gonna go, well, not fight Helmrock, we're gonna skip Helmrock. So here you can, what I like to do is I like to charge positive speed, and then hit target, and then just go wee all the way up. So, be careful not to climb here. I mean, if you do climb, you want to get back down, but you want to be in this corner, so you want to cancel your speed. So you can pull Windmaker, or you can go into first person, or you can, I guess you can blow leaf, I don't know. But be careful that you're in this corner. So now we want to get the camera behind Link, and we want to climb. And when we climb, we're going to hold down to get Link to turn around like this. And that will always make you clip. Now let's say you don't want to do that. You can damage down. There we go. If he gets a critical health... Okay, I thought okay. If he gets a critical health, he will always clip. So, by that, you don't have to hold down relative to Link. He will just always clip every time. So you can do that as well. But the fastest way, damaging down is slow. So the fastest way is to just get a turnaround, so Link does this quick turnaround. If he doesn't clip, that means you didn't get a quick turnaround. You weren't holding down relative to his facing angle. Also remember that if you end up here, you can just item slide to behind Helmrock like this. and then press A, and then you can go into first person to send your camera again. So that's one of the options. So anyway, now we have to skip Plum Rock. So what we want to do is we want to go to where this spike is. What you can actually do is run and get hit by the spike. Now make sure you don't have anything in your hands, because if you have something in your hand, you'll shield. See, I'm shielding. If I have grapple in hand, which you normally have, you shield. So make sure you put it away. What you can do is run up against the spike and then hold R and then stop moving, and he will crouch. That's what I like to do. So let me show it again. Let me get some health. Okay, so I like to run up against the spike, hold R, and then release up. And then now he's crouching. Now I can hold up to crawl. And you want to be very careful to not go too far, or else you'll fall out of bounds. You want to go just past the spike. So now I'm past the spike, I won't get hit by it. So you don't have to crawl that far. As long as you're not getting hit by the spike, you're good, and you're in here. So now I can go into first person and line up exactly where I want to go. And also do grapple if you really, really want. You can aim right here and then hold up. And it'll jump. Cool. So that was too far left. Let me do that one more time. Yeah, be careful not to go too far left, or else you fall. And if you go too far right, you go back in mounds. Let me do this again. So get hit and then crawl. There we go. We can aim where we want to go right here. There we go. So it's actually not that precise. I don't really know what went wrong on the last one, but just kind of, you can aim in first person where you want to go and just hold up and it'll jump exactly where you want. So here you want to be very, very careful. So I like to move in first person here. I like to just press in the right stick and then just whee. Because it's easier to do it this way. You can kind of just turn the camera. And then here, you just want to jump over. Like over here. If you run off the right side, the left side of the edge, he'll jump. Or else you can just hop up here and then jump off. And then here you want to item slide all the way to the top. I like to get a little bit of speed, press target, and then go all the way up. And we just have to enter the door, and we're good. So I will cut the recording to the next part where we will do Hyrule. Alrighty, so the next part of the run is the barrier skip. So we're on this side of Hyrule. We want to get to the other side. Now, if you're out of magic, you can always slash this grass for magic. Not all of them have magic, and it's random whether they drop magic or not, but just know that you can get magic in this grass. You can also get bombs and arrows. Well, even though you don't have them yet. You won't get them now, but you can once you have them. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to this pillar right here. We're going to target it. Then we're going to pull Wind Waker to turn Link around exactly. And then, we want to item slide directly backwards. And it's kind of luck-based whether it works, but that's why I like pause buffering it to stay in place. So yeah, this is kind of why it's kind of random, is that you can clip right here. If that happens, just go right back and try again. And sometimes you can clip in place too. There we go. And now we reach the other side. And so you can pull Leaf there just for safety. Leaf will prevent you from voiding out if you had a bad angle, if you're too far left or too far right. But it won't prevent you from hitting the barrier if you have so much speed that you hit the barrier, because you're traveling in one frame. So the Leaf cannot slow you down. If you're going to hit the barrier, you're going to hit it regardless of whether you pull Leaf or not. And the problem is if you're over the void and you hit the barrier, you'll void out and there's nothing you can do. So that's why you want to try to be very careful to go directly backwards, because if you go too far left or right, you if you are sliding along the wall, you'll have a bad angle when you clip. So anyway, the next part is the barrier skip. So the first part is knockback cancel. So what we're going to do is we're going to run into the barrier, and then we're going to have to pull Wind Waker. It's frame perfect. You want to pull it on the last frame of invulnerability. Now you can time it. I'll show you about the timing. That was late. That's early. If he's still flashing red, it's early. You want to see him not flash red when you pull Wind Waker. So he's still flashing red, so that's early. That's late, because I didn't pull Wind Waker. That's early. You get the point. So it's frame perfect. If you're not comfortable with this timing, you can mash it. It's easier to press B to cancel, because then you can mash faster. like this. You can mash faster with B, but be careful not to press B after the very, very last Wind Waker pull. Also slash your sword, and then you'll be out of the barrier. But I do like mashing. I do like pressing B, so alternate between Wind Waker and B. Like that. So once we've canceled knockback, we want to go all the way into this corner right here. So make sure Link is all the way in this corner. If he's anywhere out here, or not all the way in the corner, like if he's here, it won't work. So it has to be exactly in the corner. And then we're going to turn Link towards here, and we're going to pull out the telescope. Make sure gyro aiming is off at this point, because gyro aiming will mess this up. You want it so that the camera does not shake around at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom all the way in. And we're going to now keep the barrier, keep that line of that demarcation on the screen. And now we're going to slowly hold down on ESS until you see the background move like that. So I'll show you again. So it's the second most zoomed in setting, and don't look at the numbers. The ×8 is not a reliable cue, because you can have ×8 and it'd be wrong. So like this is incorrect, but it's still ×8. You could put the if you want to put the arrow, have the arrow pointing towards the exact middle of this circle. It will work like this. That'll be fine. So just make sure that arrow is pointing towards the circle, that ball, that blue ball, in the very, very center of it, and you'll have the correct aiming. So then what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that only a small sliver of the barrier is visible. So like that. This is correct. So you see that tiny little black bit on the edge of the screen? That's correct. I think this will work too. I think there's a lot of different angles that will work, but that's the cue we're going for. So like this one, I know for a fact this will work because I see that small sliver on the edge of the screen. So now we're going to cancel telescope, and now we're going to item slide, and you want to get enough speed that Link will be able to, when he settles into position at the center, still have speed. So you don't want too much. You want to get around 1,000 speed. So you're not going to item slide for very much. We're going to hold up and then hold slightly down left so that Link is moving along the barrier, but not out from the barrier. If he moves out from the barrier, you'll have to cancel knockback again. So make sure you're holding a little bit down left on the stick, as you can see. And then right after he hits this wall, you're going to tap up, and then you're going to release up, and then tap target. And then just make sure that you're not pressing, make sure that you're not holding up when you press target. So there I didn't have enough speed. So we can just try again by, we can keep our angle by holding target. Move back into this corner and try again. There we go. So this should be enough speed this time. And then we just wait, and eventually he'll clip. You got it. So I do want to show, so the first time you saw I didn't have enough speed because before he reached that point where he stops moving and he clips, you can kind of tell when he's going to clip. It always happens at the same time after he reaches the center. If he loses his speed before then, you probably didn't have enough speed. You just need to have over 30 units of speed by the time he's needs to be ready to clip. But you can't have too much speed. Let me show that. Okay. So let me show too much speed and what that looks like. Okay, this should be the angle. Okay, so this is what too much speed looks like. So I'm gonna hold target. So you see here, he's just not clipping at all. Now notice that I'm holding target. If he has too much speed, you can actually hold target to lose your speed faster, but he won't clip until he reaches around 3,000 units of speed. Let me try to get to just a little too. Okay, so this is a good example. So watch what happens with the camera. If I have a correct angle, my speed is too much. Well, actually, it didn't really do it in that scenario. Let me try one more time. Okay, and you try one more time. Okay, so let me get the angle one more time and show what happens with too much speed. Okay, so this is 6,000 units of speed. So watch what happens with the camera. You'll start to see it kind of like start shaking back and forth. And that'll happen just over the speed required to clip. So if you see that, you know he'll eventually clip. There we go. So this is the shaking that I'm talking about. So he has too much speed, and you want to hold target if you see that. And eventually he will clip. But that just means you're charging too much speed. So yeah, you don't need that much, but it is very, very lenient. So after that, now we can go ahead and item slide all the way up to Ganon's tower. So we want to item slide, and then you can tap up and then tap target. Now we have positive speed. Now we can go all the way around, but make sure you can roll to cancel your speed. Don't have speed while on these steps. You want to roll to cancel it before you reach here because you can clip over here. So you gotta be very, very careful. So now we can come over here, and there's two options for this part. The option that I recommend you doing is to leaf. So whenever you leaf, you want to make sure you leaf from the right side because the wind will blow you left. So every time you leaf, go from the right side like this. And so you just gotta pull leaf at the peak of your jump, and you can make it across. But there is one other option. So this loading zone right here, you can item slide directly into it from there with a sword slash. But you gotta be careful because the back of the loading zone, this back that you see, this has no collision. So if I item slide at it, I will just simply go all the way through and not get stopped by anything. So that's an angle problem. So we want to make sure that we aim, if we item slide to the left, we want to aim towards the right wall of the loading zone like this. So we want to put the dot right here. And then now we can item slide left to right, and then we can hold target and then press B. That was not enough speed, so let's try that again. So hold target and then press B. And there we go. So now we're in the loading zone. So either works. And so now we can item slide all the way to the top here and open the door, and now we are in Ganon's tower. So at this part of the run, we need to get bombs. And so there's a bomb drop. There's a very lucky bomb drop that exists at this part of Ganon's tower. So in this room that I'm looking at right here, this is the Earth Temple Trial. There's a bomb drop that will give you the bomb item. So what we can do is we can item slide backwards and perform a sword slash, and then drop down, and then we can open the door, and I'll show you where the bomb drop is. Now you gotta be careful in this area because there's these coffins. It's in the second to last coffin, so it's in this coffin right here. But you don't want to trigger this coffin to fall because there's a redead in there and he'll stop you from the item slide. So what you can do is you can item slide into the right part of the door, like right here. You can item slide into the back part and do a sword slash and aim at that coffin. And you want to make sure that you are holding down before you perform that item slide. Let me show this one more time. So I'm going to aim at it and then hold down and then press B and target, or hold target and then press B. That way we reach this coffin without triggering that. And then now we can just simply get the bomb drop and then item slide back through. And there we go. So now I have bombs. So now I can equip them. Now I do have the bomb item. So now that we have bombs, we can leave, and then we're going to go ahead and skip the trials. So kill this guy. Make sure to kill this guy. You can do a side hop jump slash quick spin. That's the fastest way to kill him. Or you can side hop off. You can spin attack him off the ledge. Just move kind of to his side and spin attack him off. And now we're going to move all the way back to the center, and we're going to want to get on top of this door to perform the trial skip. Now, every other one of these skulls has magic. So this one has magic, this one has magic, this one has magic, this one. All the rest are hearts, but now it's a rupee because I have full hearts. So if I bomb myself, it'll be a heart. Alright, so that's where you can refill on magic. And you can always refill on bombs in a bunch of the trials. All these trials have good refills. This one, the Wind Temple trial, has pretty much everything. It has bombs, has magic, it has a lot of things. Or you can go back in the Earth Temple trial. There's a lot of options for refilling. And you're supposed to have 60 bombs. I think on this save file, I accidentally got another bomb bag upgrade. That's why I have 99. You're supposed to have 60. So, when we're here, we're going to go into this corner. We're going to target slash at this door to grab it. You're real not to. You want to make sure you're actually in the corner. I wasn't in the corner. That's why I did not slash it. Let me kill this guy. Oh, and another thing that you can do, if you're sick of respawning at this door, you can open this door and then open it again, and then every time you void out, you respawn at the top here. So just another simple thing that you can do. So I want to be careful that you go into the corner right here. And then we're going to hold target and up, and then press B. And then now we're up here. Oh yeah, this guy needs to be dead. Hold on, I forgot to, well, actually, no, you don't have to kill him. You only have to kill him if you come out of this door. Yeah, that's right. So if you had spawned up top, you actually don't need to kill him, but, I just, anyway. So, we want to go up top here, and then we want to roll off the edge and release up. That way he doesn't jump. So if you release up right after pressing A, he'll just grab the ledge. Now I want to hold target and then move to the left so that he's all the way into the corner and stops moving. Now we climb up, and so the next sequence of events is a lot of button presses. So let me just give you a description of all the buttons that I'm pressing before I do them. So I'm going to pull bomb, and then I'm going to press B, and it's going to drop behind me. And I'm going to shield it. So that's the first step. Now, if you press B too early, Link moves backwards instead of forwards. So just make sure you've waited long enough after pulling the bomb to press B to drop it. And then we're going to backflip. And then we're going to pull leaf. And then we're going to press A, and make sure that when you leaf between the bomb and the wall. We're going to press A to cancel the leaf. And then there's a 3-frame window where we want to hold right. And so because the bomb is to our right, it will push us out of bounds. Now that is the most precise part of the trick, is that pressing right, because that's a 3-frame window. So let me show you the visual cue for it. I do recommend pause buffering this if you are new. So it's bomb, B, backflip, leaf, A, and then pause as soon as you press, like right after you press A, pause. And so you see Link's legs are bent, and keep holding target, by the way. Hold target the whole time. When his legs are straight, that's when you can hold right. And you can pause buffer it. So his legs are still bent. Okay, now they're straight. Actually, this is maybe 1 frame later, but it should still work. So now we're gonna hold right. And then we're gonna hold right, we're gonna unpause, and we're gonna mash leaf. And there we go. So now we're out of bounds. Keep holding target and right. Keep holding target and right until he turns. So keep holding it, keep holding it. All right, now he's turned. Be careful not to get hit by the... Okay, so I cut the recording because I got hit by the bomb. But basically, let me show it one more time. And in real time, let's not get hit by the bomb this time. So, bomb, B, backflip, leaf, A, pause. Legs are straight, hold right. And then mash leaf, let Link turn, and then hold up. You just want to be careful not to get hit by the bomb. And so then we should be able to leave to the loading zone, and we have skipped the trial. So just make sure that you're mashing leaf while holding right. That way you pull leaf as high as possible and you can reach the loading zone. So now we can item slide up these stairs, past these mini ones, and open the door. And now we're going to go ahead and get light arrows. So it's the door on the right. You can get magic right here. Not there. Here, if you want to. And so now we're going to watch this dumb, useless cutscene that is not useful for anything. And just want to let you know that all loading zones, they trigger even if you're over the air, as long as you're pulling leaf. So you can jump here and then press leaf, and that will instantly trigger the loading zone. So the order for this maze is always the same. So it's always down, left, up, left, right, up. So let's go. Down. Oh, and if this guy triggers, he messes up your camera. So just cancel and then try again. So if you take too long to item slide, I'll show you again that happening. See how it messes up my camera and I start moving backwards? So if that happens, just cancel and then item slide again. So that was left. Now we do straight. And then left. And then right. Alright, and then straight. So always the same order. On this last one, you can press bomb and then A very, very quickly to open the door. It has to be right immediately after each other, like that. And what that does is that opens the door and then he doesn't look back at the door. So for these guys, if they spawn on the ground, it's always the one behind you. It's always this guy. So that's what you do. You just turn around and slash. But if he spawn, there's other spawns you can have. So let me see if I can get another spawn. Okay, well, that's on the ground again. So try to give me I'm trying to get other spawns. I want to get an air spawn. Okay, so if it's a red ball, you want to go kind of right behind the circle, hold spin attack, and then release as light as possible, and then you can go slash him. And then I want to see show a blue ball. Give me a blue ball next, please. 1 in 3 chance. Come on. Blue ball? Okay, thank you. So you just go under him and then slash. You can also use a bottle. And you can use bottle to send it back. Then you just have to hit him once after all that. And you're good. And so now we can wait for the light arrows just to spawn. And we're going to get light arrows. Alrighty, so these are the light arrows, and now we can head to this door, and we can go to the next area. So the next area is a regular Phantom Ganon, as before, except he requires light arrows. So you need to, in order to spawn him, you have to move forward. And I'm gonna switch to light arrows. Now here you just light arrow him, and it's the same as before. If he spawns in the air, you can just light arrow him immediately. If he's on the ground, you have to turn around because it's the one behind you that's the real one. So you just light arrow him and you're good. So now we're gonna take this sword, and it's faster to throw it at this barrier. So you can press B to throw it, and you can also do a roll right after you throw it, which I didn't do right there. And then we're gonna go ahead and head up Grand Staircase. So we're gonna pick up some magic here. Remember, these pots have magic. All the ones on the right have magic. We want to item slide all the way up, and then we can light arrow these enemies. You can target them and light arrow them. And so we're gonna light arrow this guy. And then there's also magic here. There's red, like I said, all the ones on the right. Some of them on the left have magic. I'm not sure exactly which ones. But you can actually get a double hit on these guys if you're good. All right, this one has magic too. All right, and we're gonna go up, and we're going to. You can get a double hit on these guys. Let's see if I got it. I did get it. So we can refill on magic, and don't get those pearl drops, because they don't have anything useful in them. So don't worry about these pearl drops. Just the pots on the left. So now we're going to roll to this pillar, and so there's 2 ways to get on this pillar. So we're not going to be opening the door because we want to skip the cutscene, and the cutscene skip requires going out of bounds first, just like for door clip. So there's 2 ways to get on this pillar. We have to get on this pillar to get out of bounds. The pillar on the right. It does work for the one on the left, but it's frame perfect and really much harder. So I would do the one on the right. So for this, aim. If you see, I'm aiming towards the left right here. So don't aim directly straight on the pillar like this. Aim kind of like 30 degrees to the left. What we're gonna do is we're gonna backflip Leaf, and you want to pull Leaf as high as possible in the backflip. And then what we want to do is we want to, as late as possible, let go of Leaf. And if that works, you'll get on the pillar like this. So let me show you how this can fail. So there, I released Leaf too late, and I bounced off. Like that. If you bounce off, you were late. That was late again. And then early, you just drop and you don't grab. And that was correct timing. You grab the ledge. So I want to also mention for this clip is random. So the next part you want to go to the right, but sometimes Link falls off. Let me see if I can get it to happen. Sometimes as you're scooting, it depends on his like scooting animation. Sometimes he falls off and there's nothing you can do. He just like moves to the right and falls off, but it's kind of like really rare that happens. But there's another thing that can happen for this. So we're going to be moving all the way to the right and climbing up. When he climbs up, the position he's at when he climbs determines whether A, he instantly clips, or B, it requires a frame perfect side hop to clip. So that's why for this, I recommend damaging down first. If you're a beginner, I recommend making sure that you're at 1.5 health, because it actually changes the clip. If you are at 1.5 health, you will always clip when you climb up, and you don't need a frame perfect side hop. So that's why I recommend being at 1.5 health or less. And so when you climb up, you don't even have to side hop. He'll just always clip every time, like this. But sometimes, you know, if you're not at 1.5 health or less, he could just get pushed back by the wall and just fall off. And then you have to retry the whole thing. So after the clip, let me just show you what you do. Really, you can just side hop. It's just, don't move at all, just side hop right. So you climb up, and then you just do a side hop without moving, just side hop right, like this. And it looks spooky. It looks like he's standing on nothing, but actually this out of bounds area is it's a square, actually. So if you want to see how far this goes, it goes all the way out to here. But here, so this is still a square right here. So you see, this is the edge of it, right? I'm moving along the edge. So it's an octagon within a square. So the corners are going to be the parts that jut out the most relative to inbounds. The edges right here, this is where it's really close to out, as you saw right there. I got really, really close. This right here is the tightest part because it's a square. So I'm going along the edge. Now the corner is really, really far out. And then it also gets really, really narrow over here because this is one of the edges. So right here, if I move just slightly to the left, I fall. So there I fell without moving that far. So that's why you gotta be very, very careful when you're at the edges. But at the corners, you really don't have to be careful at all. So, but yeah, we're gonna be navigating here. I do want to show one other way to get up onto this pillar. If you're struggling with that method that I just showed you, the other method that is slower, but it could be easier for you, is to get some speed, hold up, and then press target. And then move around this corner until we reach here, and we'll grab this ledge. And then we want to go up to this corner. Then we want to turn around and we want to aim. I can use the grapple or the light arrow to aim right here. So kind of like at the right edge of this pillar. Now we're going to hold target. And then what we're going to do, this is kind of quick. We're going to hold up and roll. And then at the very end of his jump, we're going to press leaf and then let go of everything. And then wait until Link kind of moves to the right of the pillar. He'll slide to the right, and that's when you release leaf. So let me show that. So you saw he started sliding right. That's when I press A. And so I'm not holding up while I'm leafing. It's only while I'm rolling so I can get a jump, and then as soon as I pull leaf, I let go of everything, and then just very patiently wait for him to get pushed right, and then we can let go of leaf. Now we're on the pillar. And same thing, move all the way around to the right, and then if you have, so it depends on your health. If you have more than a heart and a half, you want to mash side hop, or try to time a frame perfect side hop, because it does affect whether you eclipse. But if you have this health or less, it actually doesn't matter. So you can have any health and you can just stand up and then side up. So that side up doesn't have to be frame perfect if you have the health that I have right now. So be very careful at this last part. And you want to get Link so that he's in the middle of this collision. So you see Link's ear, he is touching the edge of the wall is actually where he'll fall. And he'll get pushed back in bounds if he's anywhere out of this kind of lip of the pillar, as you see. So of the wall, this kind of lip that juts out in bounds. So this is kind of like the farthest right you can stand, but you want to be like right in the middle, right here. Then we're gonna go into first person and turn the camera so that the right edge of the screen is cutting off this pillar. Now it's kind of lenient. You can be here, you can be here, but anywhere around here is fine. This is too far right, this is too far left. Too far left, you target the wall. Too far right, and then when you do the side hop, we're gonna do pause storage, and it will completely fail if you are too far right. So right here is good. Just make sure the right edge of the screen on the pillar. I do need to be on Pro Controller, so I'm switching. Remember that this loses 4 seconds. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to hold target. We're going to, I'll show you this. We're going to hold the option button. And then we're going to hold left on the stick. And then we're going to press home and then A. And if you did it all correctly, you can release everything and he'll sign up. And then now you can switch controllers immediately and we've effectively skipped the cutscene. And there you go. That is Puppy Hand and cutscene skip. So pretty complicated. That one I think is probably not one of the easiest ones. It does save around 50 seconds, so it does save a decent amount of time if you do it. If you do it perfectly. So the next part is the pumpkin fight. So let me get light arrows equipped. Make sure you completely fill up on magic before this fight. It's just a really good idea to come in with full magic. So remember, all these pots on the right have magic. There's also 2 at the top. We can item slide and then pull bomb, and that will allow us to not continuously build speed, and you'll just be moving forward. So pulling bomb is very useful for item slides to cap your speed, because if you item slide all the way up these stairs in first person, you crash. So be careful not to do that. So we're gonna enter the fight. I do want gyro aiming on. Let me see. Yeah, I do want it on. If you are playing with a controller, I recommend playing with a gamepad with gyro on. I think it's the easiest for this fight. So let me go over this fight real quick. So there's 3 phases. There's first phase is, I think, the hardest, is the one where you have to hit the tail while it's moving. The second phase is a spider and it falls every time and you have to hit it after it's hit the ground. And then the third one is it's a stink phase. So for the first phase, the very first shot is consistent, and so you want to kind of try to learn this first shot because it's always the same. Let me show. You want to aim up left and then shoot at the correct time. So it's kind of where I'm aiming is, I'll show. I'm aiming kind of like right here. So right, just to the left, to the right of this platform. Let me show it again. So you won't want to do it too early. That was probably as late as it could possibly be, but the ball will always swing to the left at the very start of the fight. So that shot is consistent. But then the rest of these are not. So you kind of have to, you'd have to, there's another consistent shot, but it's slower. So you want to be careful not to get hit, by the way. So the first shot is consistent, but then he swings back and forth. And so one thing you can try to do is just kind of try to snipe him as he's moving. Oh, and there's magic there. Remember, these can drop magic. So magic is very useful. Also, with your health, make sure your health does not get to 2 hearts, because now now we're kind of in trouble. So that's why you don't want to get hit like I just got hit. But anyway, so instead of just sniping him as he's moving, you can wait for him to do this punch. When he punches, his tail will move a lot slower. See, like that, his tail moves a lot slower and consistently when he punches. So what I can do is, after the very first shot, just wait until he punches. And you have to time it so that you shoot when the tail is to the right, because then it'll move. Remember, it moves back and forth as the arrow is moving. So he punches, the tail's to the right, and then you shoot. And so that is the consistent shot. All the others are not so easy and require a lot of planning. And so those 3 that I just did, those are the only, I think, beginner-friendly shots for this first phase. But if you just stick to those, I think you'll be pretty successful. Other than that, if you run out of magic, the keys will drop magic, but that takes a good bit of time. It takes a good minute or so for the keys to drop to spawn, but they will drop magic as long as you have more than 2 1/4 hearts, which I don't. So I'm going to show you what happens. So this phase, you will have to refill with keys. You will have to absolutely get magic because there's not enough. You need 9 shots and you'll have enough for 8. So when this guy lands, you can hit him, and then we can switch to regular arrows and shoot these keys. Now, I have to defeat this one and get a heart because they will always drop hearts if I have 2 or less. And so, yeah, you want to get magic. So if you don't get magic, you want to make sure you don't defeat him because you need to have at least enough for 3 more shots the last phase. So here I didn't get magic. That's a really good example. So I'm actually going to deliberately not hit Papa Ganon for the last shot because I don't have enough magic. So we have to do this again. And there we go. So now I have magic. So now, after we've gotten magic, you need to deliberately get hit by him because we do want to damage down. So if you get hit by him, you want to make sure you're close enough to the ball. If you're not, like the part of his body that hits you, if it's too far back, the part of his body that hits you, then you won't get hit towards the ball. But if you're kind of new, don't worry about getting hit. It's optimal, but if you die, you have to restart the entire fight. So you can just not really worry about it at first, especially in this phase. This is the phase that you're worried about dying. So in this phase, bombs are your friend because if you he rams you while you're holding a bomb, he gets stunned for a very long amount of time, and now you have plenty of time to hit the tail. Now these morphs behave exactly the same as Keese, where if you have less than 2 hearts, they'll drop a heart every time. If you have over 2 hearts, so 2 1/4, it's random what they drop. So nothing, or they can drop magic, or if you have really low arrows. So there you go. So they can drop magic. So that's just what happens if you're low on magic. You can get that, but make sure you have over 2 1/4 hearts. So anyway, I have plenty of magic, so now we can ram this guy with a bomb, and we have plenty of time to hit the tail after. And just remember that if he hits the wall, hit 3 times, he'll always go directly towards you. So 1, 2, 3, he'll always go directly towards me. Now this is the very last hit. Be careful to roll morphs off you at the end here, because you can get something called morph glitch, which is very important for later. So the very last hit, make sure no morphs are on you. So none are on me, and then hit them, and you're good. If there is a morph on you, there's a random chance that you get this glitch called morph glitch, which I will show in a second. Yeah, so that is the Papa Ganon fight. hope that helps you with your fight. And so the next part is climbing the room, and then we're going to do a certain hover twice. We're going to do the Morph hover twice to get to the top platform. So this is where it would be optimal to be very damage down, but I will show you a way to damage down pretty quickly. So we're going to have to get down to a quarter of a heart, because we're going to need to zombie hover. So if you want to, you can go ahead and just damage down with bombs here, but that's really, really slow. You kind of just spin attack bombs over and over again, and you want to get down to a quarter. You can also wait until you're kind of higher up, because if you fall down, you can take damage by accident. So just make sure you know that you're going to be damaging down. So for this rope, you can climb it faster. The way you can climb it faster is, so jump onto it and pause. And then you want to hold ZR right here. So I like to turn the controller sideways. And then you can mash, either A or B works. And you can mash pretty high up on this thing. But don't go too high, so kind of just do it for a little bit. And if you mash too slow, he will fall off. If you mash too fast, he'll fall off. But mashing too fast is a lot harder than mashing too slow. So you can kind of just go a little high, but the higher you go, the harder it is to do. So just letting you know that the first part of the rope, you're pretty safe to do that. But the higher you go, the more likely you are to fall off, and it's pretty bad if you fall off. So the rest of the way, we're just going to climb normally. So the next part, there's actually a really cool way to skip grappling. This. So you could grapple this. You can kind of just jump over here and grapple. But there's a faster way, and it's kind of cool. So after you climb up this setup, you have to get back on this thing, because the angle you get allows you to do a bunch of side hops. So you can just do a bunch of side hops. 1, 2, 3, 4, towards the other side of the platform. Now what we're going to do is we're going to target this chain and jump slash up. And then we're going to pull Windmaker and cancel. And then these have to be tap backflips. So you have to tap back at the same time as pressing A. So you're going to do 3 backflips. 1, 2, 3. So I tapped down and pressed A at the same time. Now we're going to slash our sword and hold the shield, and then do another tap backflip. If you did it all correctly, you'll clip up onto this platform, but if you move between any of the backflips, that fails. So anyway, that's just one way you can do it, or you can just grapple. Either way works. There's some refills. Some of these have hearts, some of these have magic. Just be careful not to get hearts, because then you'll heal yourself by accident. And then we're gonna grapple this last one. And then, so after grappling, what I see a lot of people do is side hop off to the right or left, but you actually don't need to do that. You can literally just walk off and then just, and jump. So you don't have to be, you can literally just jump off of the peg and leave, and no problem there. Here we're gonna open the warp pot. It's actually very important you open the warp pot here. Do not forget to open the warp pot. Alrighty, so now let's talk about Morph Hover. So to get to this top platform right here, you need the hookshot normally. But in the speedrun, we don't have the hookshot, so the only way to get there is by zombie hovering. So, first of all, make sure this pot is open. Always open this pot first, just for safety. Also, if you're doing the double hover, you need this pot open to get to the top to attempt it again. So make sure this pot's open. And so we're gonna have to get down to a quarter heart. So there's 2 ways to damage down. One is bombs. You can spin attack a bomb, which I'm not gonna do. You can spin attack bombs. But there's a faster way, because we can damage down with these morphs. So if you fire arrow a morph and then you roll into it, it will deal you damage, as long as it's still on fire. So what you can do is, now don't get too close to the morph, you can shoot an arrow at it, fire arrow, and then release it, and then very quickly hold target and press A, like this. And that will roll into the morph as it's on fire, and that actually deals a half heart, so it deals more, it deals double the damage of a bomb. And so that's faster, because then you can chain them together a lot faster. But you need to get down to a quarter of a heart, so whichever way, just make sure you're there. So the first step of the hover is to get a morph on you. And you want it, it's not just getting it on you, but you want it so that you slash it, and the frame that the morph dies from the sword slash is the same frame that it latches onto. So you'll hear it die and latch onto at the same time. Like this. That. So you heard it die, and it latched onto Link. So there's a setup for it. I'm going to show what I recommend for the setup and how to get it. So it's really specific where your positioning is for this. Make sure you have sword in hand for this setup. So first pull sword. So by the way, you know, reloading the room with these warp pots allows you to get 3 more back. So, so pull sword. Make sure you have sword in hand. Very important. Go into first person, and we're not going to move the right stick. Also, if you have gamepad, turn gyro aiming off. So with the option menu, you want to turn gyro aiming off because I don't want shaking the controller to move the camera. And don't move the right stick at all because the right stick will change your elevation that you're aiming at, like up versus down. So only move the left stick. And so what we want to do is we want to get the morph in the very center of the screen. And so we're going to go about to right here. So what I'm looking at is this spike right here. This spike, the triangle, it's a triangular shape. And the very bottom of that triangle, I want that touching the bottom of the screen. And so the eye, you want to look at the eye, that needs to be in the center of the screen, like this. And so this position is very important because if you're too far forward, it will fail. I'll show it how it'll fail. If you're too far forward, this will happen. So the morph will go on Link, good, but it will go on Link before the slash hits it, so it'll be on Link and you won't hear the death. Now if you're too far back, this is what'll happen. The morph will get slashed, but it won't latch onto Link. We want both. We want it to be slashed and latch onto Link. So, so that's, the position is kind of lenient. You gotta get a feel for it, but that's how you know, in that way, whether it failed. Now, so when we get this angle, we're going to want to press target and then immediately press up and B at the same time. And so, you don't want to wait after pressing target. I'll show you what happens if you wait. It can also fail if you wait. So that's because Link's hitbox changes as he's doing the hunch over animation. When he's at critical health, he starts gasping for air and hunching over. That changes his hitbox. So if I have the correct position, this, and then I wait, then what you will see will happen is that the morph will not latch onto Link, even though my position was correct. That's why when you leave first person, you have to very quickly target, and you have to very quickly press up and B. Now, another thing that's important is that up and B press, that needs to be at the same time. So you need to press up either the frame that you press B or 1 frame before. So it's a 2-frame window. And so that's important because if you press up too early, Link will walk forward. And so then he'll stab after walking forward and then his position will have changed. So that's why that up and B press has to be at the same time while holding target. Now, if you don't want there to be a 2-frame window, if you have gamepad, only on gamepad, you can home buffer this. Because when you home quit the game, that interrupts all inputs, and then you can simply hold buttons, and all of the buttons you hold will come out on the same frame. So what we can do is we can get this angle, and then press target, and then very quickly press home to leave first person. And then we're going to hold up, you can't see it, but I'm holding up, B, and target. And then you press home again, and those will all come out at the same time. And that will get the morph on you. So that you can do. It only works on gamepad because on Pro Controller there's a delay between pressing the home button and the inputs coming out. So that means that you would basically it doesn't work because you'd be in third person for too long. Basically, this only works on gamepad. So anyway, now the next step is to roll the morph off of us and to blow it with the leaf because we want to get it onto the top platform. So when we roll the morph off Link, it goes backwards. You roll it. If you roll in this direction, the morph will go in that direction. But that happens only if the morph is in the correct position on Link. So what I like to look at is that after I get the morph on Link, so if you're moving around, I'll show you. If you're moving around, the morph won't move on Link. So it moves from one position to the other on Link. So you may notice if I get the morph on Link and I'm constantly moving, the morph will not shift position. But as soon as I stand still, then it will shift position. And the shifting position that it does is consistent. And what you want is to wait 3 times after you get it on Link for it to shift position 3 times. And then you want to keep moving to never let the morph move. So let me show that. So you want it to move 3 times, and then you want to roll it off. Let's try this again. The Morph on us. Okay, there we go. So now, you want it to get to the center of Link's body. So it's on his foot. So I think it's only moved once, two, there we go. Okay, no, it hadn't moved. So this is where you want it, in the center of Link's body. So now I'm moving around and Morph won't move. So now what we want to do is we want to get behind the warp pot. You want to get behind the warp pot and you want to move backwards and roll it off. And then, so the direction it moves is random. You want to then build leaf. It can go anywhere. It doesn't always go directly backwards. It's RNG. So it can go directly left, it can go directly right, or it can go anywhere backwards in between those two angles. So you have to react and leaf in the correct direction. So then we want to keep leafing it and we want to get onto the platform. So, one thing I want to mention about getting it onto the platform. So, first of all, as soon as it's on the platform, it will start following Link. If you start moving, it'll follow Link. The other thing I want to mention is that if you hold target and then move sideways, it will not follow Link. It only has to do with Link's speed value, and when he moves sideways, his speed value is too low for it to jump. So getting it onto the platform can be kind of challenging sometimes because the direction it moves in is not very consistent. I do want to mention, so sometimes what can happen is the Morph can fall off, and you can be in a pretty rough situation. But what I want to show is that if the Morph falls off. So what you can do, if you get in this scenario where the Morph falls off the platform, you can always blow it from sideways or from behind. You can be in front of the Morph, so like this. See, the Leaf's hitbox is not just in front of Link. It's also to the side and behind Link. It extends pretty far back and sideways. So just want to mention those for blowing the Morph onto the platform. So once you get onto the platform, the next step that we want, so we want to get into this corner. You always want the left corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be tapping and getting the Morph to jump just a little bit at a time. So if you start tapping up, you want to get Link to just move for just a little bit. And you want to get it all the way to the edge of the platform. I'll show you exactly where. So this is not far enough to the edge. This is far enough. That's actually that Morph almost fell off the platform. And so as I mentioned, if the Morph accidentally falls off the platform, then we can just go sideways, go right next to it, and then build leaf, and then we can reposition ourselves and try again. So that's one thing. Also know that, like, if you're here, the Morph is going to jump more sideways than if you're all the way out here. So just think, the Morph is trying to take the shortest path to Link. So if you're all the way out here, the Morph is not going to jump as far. Another thing that can happen that you need to be able to react to is if the Morph gets here, because now you see the Morph is stuck because there's this little lip in the corner. If that happens, we want to go all the way back here, and then we want to do a little tap to get the Morph out. Now it's unstuck. Now we want to sidewalk back to our other position, and then we want to start tapping, walking it. Go, and now the Morph is in position. So the way I can tell if the Morph is in position is if one of the spikes is touching the edge. So you can see the spike is actually just a little past the edge. This is perfectly fine. As long as the last spike is touching the edge, it is far enough. So now we can also just turn in first person if you're not comfortable turning in third person, because you might accidentally move. Now we can sidewalk, and now what we're going to want to do is we're going to sidewalk all the way to this golden beam right here. We want to be directly under it. So right here, directly under the golden beam. Good. We also want to be in the center of this beam, because if we're too far left, the bomb will knock us off. If we're too far right, we don't have a good angle on the Morph to zombie over to it. So right in the middle, under the golden beam. That's a little far forward. Let's try. It's not that precise where you want to be. This is just the best position, but a bunch of other positions work too. So the next step, we're going to be wanting to shoot this Morph and drop a bomb and slash it. So first of all, the type of slash you do matters. So it has to be a horizontal slash like this. So when you're going to be slashing the bomb, don't hold target, you don't hold any analog stick direction, just press B. Now, I'm going to teach you a method that is slower, but it is easier because it gives you more time to mash to the Morph. It gives you more time to zombie hover for people that struggle with mashing. So we're going to aim at the Morph, but we're not going to shoot it yet, even though it would technically be faster to do that. Then we're going to drop a bomb, and then we're going to shoot it. So you're going to press ZR to drop the bomb. Then we're going to shoot it, and then press B, and then you can do liftoff. So for people who are unsure of liftoff, basically, after you've slashed the bomb, you want to start holding target, and then you want to press A and home very quickly. Now, that only works on gamepad. On Pro Controller, you have to do an unbuffered liftoff. You can either mash both A and B at the same time, and then switch to B, or you can time the A press and then switch to mashing B, which I prefer to do. I have a separate tutorial for that linked in the description. So here, now we're going to switch to 2-thumb mashing after getting liftoff. And we're going to just mash B and get to the Morph. You want to make sure Link is up against this platform before you drop. And be very careful not dropping from too high. So there I kind of just let Link not drop that high, because if you drop from too high, he can actually sometimes hit the ground and not get healed. So anyway, that is Morph Hover. That is how I recommend doing this. I do want to show you, if you're not comfortable with your mashing, if you're not sure how good your mashing is and you don't want to just practice zombie hovering over and over again, there's a really good spot in Ganon's Tower that you can practice mashing. And so that is over here. So we can go to this, and there's water over here. And so that's very useful because I can turn up my gamepad audio all the way by pressing the volume slider right here. And so then when you go in the water, you can mash B, and because he can't pull a sword in the water, it'll make an error sound. And you can hear that error sound, and that will tell you exactly how fast you're mashing B. So if you listen, I guess, I don't know if you hear it. So you can go into gamepad mode, you can hear it. You can also hear it in-game. It's kind of faint, but you can hear it. So that's what I like to listen for. You can hear the B presses, you can hear how fast they are. And that will help you guide your mashing. And so this is just a really good place to practice mashing so that you don't have to be midair to see how fast your mashing is. So anyway, that's how to do the Morph Hover, and we'll move on. Alrighty, so I'm going to explain Morph Glitch. So when I have a Morph on me, if I roll, the Morph should go off of Link. But there's a special property, kind of like a glitch that can happen, where if you go through a loading zone while a Morph is on you, you'll get this really, really weird glitch. I'll show it off. So this is why you never want to go into a warp pot with a Morph on you, or die. You don't want to die with a Morph on you either. Or save and quit, because now if I roll it off, it won't come off. And so now the only way, besides home quitting your game, because this goes through saves, even if you save and quit the game and then you restart it again, you'll still do this, where it won't come off. The only way to get it off is to bonk the warp pot. And this is really annoying because, as you can see, it's really hard to get the Morph as it comes off of you after you bonk the warp pot. It's kind of unlikely that it's gonna work. Okay, so like that time I got really, really, really lucky. So now we can just go ahead and continue the hover. So that is what you do in the case of Morph Glitch, is that you have to bonk that warp pot, or you can save the game and then home quit and then start it back up, and that time then you will have cleared Morph Glitch. So after we're at this point, we're going to perform pause storage to skip the Ganondorf loading cutscene, because this next cutscene is 4 minutes long. And it's faster to just go ahead and skip the cutscene and then perform another Morph Hover. But if you're not comfortable with your Morph Hover, go ahead and just watch the cutscene. But make sure Grapple's equipped first before you watch the cutscene. Very important, because we're going to get to the next thing. So when we're here, we want to get into this corner, and we want to press target while Link is kind of facing to the left. You see he'll snap towards the left. Yes, see that? That means you targeted the wall. You can't target it if you're you can't target it if you're facing to the right. You can only do it if you're facing left of the wall, like that. Then we're gonna push Link to the corner, and then make sure you're in Pro Controller. So I need to be in Pro Controller for this. And now the setup for this is to side up once to the right, and then we're going to hold target for the first 3 slashes. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to not hold target for the last slash and hold down B. Now we're going to press Option. Press in Option, then press home. And then we're going to release everything and press home again. And that will activate pause storage on this loading zone, and then we can switch controllers, and then save warp. So we save and quit, and then we have to perform another Morph Hover, and that is to save 2 minutes, because it's faster than watching the cutscene, even though you have to do 2 hovers. That's also why we open the warp pod, because we can take the warp pod to the top. Well, anyway, we have to do another Morph Hover, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Now, for this next Morph Hover, we're gonna have to damage down all the way from 3 hearts. We don't have Papa getting to damage down, so that's where these morphs come into play. So I'm gonna go to the top of the room, and so we can damage down with bombs, or B, we can use the morphs, and morphs are way faster. So we're gonna go into this warp pot. We're gonna take it up to the top, And so now we're gonna start flaming these morphs and rolling into them. So as I mentioned, and make sure that you're not shooting the morph into others. So that's why I like to shoot it at the pot, because then if it bounces, it can't burn the other morph and kill it too. So I aim down with a fire arrow, and then I shoot it, I release it, and then I press target B. Like that. So I roll into it, and I can do the same thing for this one. Target B. Just make sure you're not too close to the morph. You can be kind of far away, and this still works. Like that. And so now we need to reload the morphs because there's no morphs left on the platform. So if you roll off the right or the left side, there's a chain that you can void out on if you go correctly. There's a chain way down there. So what we want to do is we want to roll off the platform and not jump, so release the stick. And then we want to fall down and then leaf onto the chain. And we want to be very, very careful to leaf onto it, like this. And then we can roll up the chain, and that will effectively void link out, and then we can respawn the morphs. So now I can do this again. And do it again. And now we're at quarter of a heart, and we have the right damage. And also remember, this has magic, so it's very useful. So again, get the morph on you, get it onto the top platform, blah blah blah. I'm gonna kind of just skip all this and go over the Ganondorf fight, but you get the deal. Do morph hover again, same deal. I'm gonna cheat with moon jumping. And so we're gonna go ahead and go over the Ganondorf fight. Now we're gonna be at 1 heart when we do the Ganondorf fight, so you're gonna die you die in 1 hit. So that's why I'm going to show you a way to refill on health. So make sure the grapple is equipped before the fight. Because for this next part, we can refill on health at the very, very start of the fight with a very, very interesting, very helpful technique. So for this fight, if we, at the very start, mash A to talk to Tetra. At the very, very start, you want to instantly talk to Tetra. By the way, this is quick text, so you can hold B and mash A. If you then, when you cancel the text box, press A and then hold target and then grapple her. So you gotta press it twice. You will always grapple her. So that's consistent. So you can get a very quick refill. So mash A, talk to her. Okay, so I started talking to her. Hold target, grapple, grapple, and while holding target. So that is consistent. And now we have full health. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go over this fight. So the first phase, you have to talk to Zelda every time to get her to shoot, or else she'll eventually shoot. But kind of notice that he avoided the attack. Like if you're near Zelda and she shoots, you can talk to her, by the way, to make her instantly shoot. He will avoid the attack. So what you have to do is after talking to her, you have to go between. You have to make it so that he is between you and Zelda, so that his back is facing Zelda. Because if his back is facing Zelda, he will not avoid the attack. And so after he gets hit, you can then perform jump slash quick spin. So jump slash and then spin the stick, and then do a bunch more spins after that. So you can do a jump slash quick spin and 2 more spins, and that'll be enough damage. So watch this. I guess I was a little too slow there, but you can also, for safety, just do 1 jump slash quick spin. So then you want to talk to Zelda again. So you want to roll all the way around him. Oh yeah, because so she's shooting. Jump slash quick spin. And then you can just do 1, and then go talk to Zelda again. So roll around, talk to Zelda, and then roll all the way around him again. So that is kind of like the safe way to do the fight, is just 1 jump slash quick spin. And so on this phase, we don't have Zelda. So on this phase, we have to parry him. So also remember, if you shield his attacks, he'll do this kick, and that kick goes through your shield. So if you're shielding him, just be careful, because look, that I shielded and his kick still hit me. So you don't want to be shielding, but you want to just be moving backwards. So that's kind of what you want to do. You want to kind of like stay out of his range. You can hold shield, but you want to be careful that he doesn't hit your shield. And also you have to have released the shield in order to parry. So if I'm holding shield, I can't parry. You notice the A prompt doesn't come up. So stay kind of out of his range, hold back, and then after he hits the ground, press A, and then do a jump spin, and then just roll away from him. So I'm gonna do 1 more. Takes 2. So move backwards, press A, and then jump spin, and then we can roll to Zelda. So that's second phase, and then we have 1 more phase. So I'm gonna talk to Zelda on purpose. And then we want to move, make sure that Zelda is between you and Ganondorf. Or Ganondorf is between you and Zelda. But just make sure you're far enough back that you can hit the layer. So here I moved back as she shot. So you gotta be careful that does not happen. Also want to make sure your angle's good. So that was actually probably almost the wrong angle. So here's what happens. If your back is facing her, she just hits you like that. So be careful that your back is not facing her. Make sure that your front or your side is facing her. So hold target, and then press A, and you have completed the Wind Waker HD any percent. So that is it. That is the Wind Waker HD any percent category without the manual super system and with pause storage. So as of the recording, it is July 3rd, 2022. So this is up to date as of today, but that might change. So if you are if this is a little out of date by the time that you have watched the tutorial, go ahead and don't be afraid to join the Discord and ask questions about what new setups have been found. I would recommend just join the Discord anyway if you are new to speedrunning, because there's a lot of very, very useful resources in the Wind Waker HD Discord, such as save file manager, the hacking tools that you saw me use today, and so much more. So anyway, that's going to be it for my tutorial. Good luck with your speedruns. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you have a great time with this game. This is my favorite speed game, and I hope you enjoy it as well. And I'll see you guys later. If you liked the tutorial, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.